Good morning. Good Friday morning to you, St. Louis. Thanks for tuning in. The psychotic weather continues. Neurotic weather, how would you put it?
Maybe
St. Louis
all
weather.
Of the, all of the
Imbalanced
above.
weather, like 40 yesterday, 60 today. Going to be 45 tonight. I mean, it's just all over the place. I have to tell you.
Maybe we'll light a fire tonight. We have a wood-burning fireplace at our house, and that was one of the selling features. That was one of the reasons that I wanted to get that house, because I grew up with one, and nothing beats wood burning.
Nothing beats that or a good outdoor fireplace or fire pit. Yeah, on a night like that. Should be outstanding. By the way, I want to get first things first out of the way this morning. Carl, we owe you an apology.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Because you are 5, and we forgot your birthday a couple days ago. So happy birthday, Carl Milliman.
Thanks.
A day late, $1 short. We did bring you
2
donuts
days
this
late.
morning. We did. Kim picked up some donuts for you this morning.
I appreciate that. I gave her a big hug.
No such thing as a late birthday donut.
True. I
That
appreciate
makes up
that.
for everything, right, Kim?
Right.
Yeah, we hope.
We're sorry.
We're
No,
sorry,
don't be
Carl.
sorry. They're like, they both said, well, why didn't you say anything? I said, because I'm not 5 years old. I don't need to, oh, hey, everybody, pay attention to me. It's my birthday.
Yeah, he's not 5 years old, but you know what he did yesterday? He texted my daughter to wish her a happy birthday.
I did.
And then ratted me out for forgetting his birthday.
She's like, when's your birthday? And I said it was yesterday. And she's like, my dad didn't tell me that.
Oh,
Because your dad forgot.
Mark,
Yeah.
we need to put it in our calendar for next year.
I did already. Thank you. That will not happen again. So anyway, hope you're having a great Friday. I went to vote yesterday, and so did Kim St. Ange and her whole family.
And we went
great.
to both. So you hit up the Wentzville location. I went to St. Peter's.
Yes, and Kim made the correct decision. She chose wisely. Yeah.
Well, it still took her an hour.
Took me an hour and 45 minutes.
Ouch.
Yeah, and I texted Kurt Barr yesterday, the director of elections in St. Charles County, because I'm getting messages from people in other counties, in St. Louis County, in Jefferson County. Hey, zoomed right in, zoomed right out, didn't have any problems.
Wow.
Because they've got multiple locations to choose from. And in St. Charles County, you have 2, and one of them has major road construction going on the outside of it.
Yep.
Which was the biggest delay for you yesterday,
Right. And here's what I recommend. If you are going to vote at that St. Peter's location, do not take 70. That's the worst case scenario. You're going to get backed up on the ramp off the interstate. Either take 79, or best case scenario, what you should do is get off 70 at Mid-Riversball Drive, kind of where all those shops are, Home Goods and Marshalls, I think, and take back roads. That is going to, you will probably zoom right in if you do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one approach to it. I sent this picture of the long line I was standing in yesterday to Kurt Barr, the director of elections out in St. Charles County, and I'm like, listen, my estimated wait time is 1.5 hours. What are you going to do about this? You've got a week left of early absentee voting. And his answer to me was, we will have more judges next week at Element. And I promise we will process everyone who's in line today by 3. The location at that other church doesn't open till 9, and it closes at 3.
Okay, that's
6 hours of voting every day. And
takes you
the
2
line
hours.
the line was steady the entire time I was there. So the people getting into the back of it had at least an hour and a half wait. Mine was an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay, here's my issue. I was wondering why they didn't open up another polling location. It seems simple, like they could do it as soon as Monday to fix this issue. But I thought to myself, well, I wonder if it's a lack of election judges, right? Because there is training associated with that. They're paying them, things like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's not the issue. So I don't understand. I mean, seriously, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong here. Adding more election judges to the same polling location isn't going to solve the issue. Why are we not opening up a third location and moving those election judges there? I mean, seriously, I would like that question answered.
An easy fix. I will note that there were maybe 25 tables where you could sit down and vote yesterday. They were all full all the time, right? And they were limited by that to some extent. And then they have to have a Republican and a Democrat judge check you in. There were probably 8 pairs. There were probably 4 pairs sitting there, 8 people And as soon as they'd get done, they'd wave the next person over. That's what kind of limited the flow, because even if you speed up the amount of time it takes to process people, because you have 10 people sitting there instead of 8, you still need to expand the space they have to vote, or you can't squeeze any more people in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. A couple of answers there. Obviously, we're armchair warriors on this, but I still think there's some room for criticism there on the way St. Charles County has handled this. No doubt about it. So continue to vote early. Don't let that discourage you. I met some great people in line yesterday. They shared my frustration, but they did stand in the line and they did vote because it's that important to them. Don't let that discourage you from going out there and voting. I think it will get better as the days go along here, because you've got tomorrow, all of next week to do this in. So don't be discouraged. I said it to my wife yesterday. I'm like, I know it's going to take a chunk of your day, but you got to go get this done. If you wait till Election Day and the lines are that long everywhere because everybody waited, it's just going to be worse.
I'll tell you what, I was so proud voting and then walking out. I had to stop myself from writing in big capital letters on Amendment 3, no, in addition to filling out the bubble. I stopped myself.
Yeah, and it didn't take long.
That would have invalidated your vote.
It didn't take long.
Which is why I decided
Thank you.
not to do that.
No stray ink marks anywhere on the ballot. Thank you very much. Coming up, we are going to talk to U.S. Senator Josh Hawley. He's been a busy man. He's been all over the state in that bus. He's been talking on Fox News. And finally, we're going to get him here on the Marc Cox Morning Show. After requesting him for a couple of weeks, we're going to get him in the 8 o'clock hour this morning. Be sure and stick around for that. I've got the future Secretary of State, who's got a few criticisms of how we do things in the state of Missouri when it comes to elections. And I'm going to get him on the air here, Denny Hoskins, at about 7:35. So that's coming up. Mark that. But first, let's get to our short list, Carl.
The Marc Cox short list.
Kamala Harris does not have the compassion, the intelligence, or the strength the presidency needs. I know what it needs.
Yeah, Donald Trump crossing the nation. He was in Arizona, I think. He was in Nevada. He's been all over the place trying to whip up votes. And meanwhile, all Kamala Harris could do is drag in people like Bruce Springsteen, who sounded awful yesterday at her rally out there. And when he was done, people started leaving before Harris even got up to speak.
There are so many reasons to beat this guy, but one of them, it might be petty, but I'm going to own it. I just don't want to look at him anymore on TV. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, it's petty. It's the governor of Minnesota who is trying to make the closing argument that you should vote against Donald Trump just because we don't want to look at him anymore on TV. You really think people want to hear that nail on a chalkboard voice for 4 years? Give me a break.
I find the fact that she just doesn't really articulate to me her true policy position.
Wow. Did you recognize that voice?
Oh, yeah.
Katie Couric, longtime NBC anchor, on with Charlemagne the God. Not quite sure how in the world the guy got that name, but she doesn't think that Kamala is authentic. Imagine that.
I think that clip illustrates exactly why Harris is in trouble at this point. And it's something that I don't understand why the campaign does not address.
Yeah, it is an ongoing problem. Frank Luntz there, the guy you used to see all over Fox News at one point. Obviously, he's a pollster, and he does those instant reaction kind of pieces on debate speeches and all of that, trying to judge what's going on. He doesn't think that Kamala is making the case. And I don't know how you could watch, if you did watch, that town hall the other night on CNN and not come to the exact same conclusion. When your answer to every question is, yeah, but Donald Trump, you don't have an argument. All you are is against the other guy, and you've not made any show at all of what you would do. Go ahead and play that lunch bite, Carl. Cut number 8, please.
I think that clip illustrates exactly why Harris is in trouble at this point. And it's something that I don't understand why the campaign does not address. They asked her specifically, where do you stand on the wall? And what does she do? She goes and shifts it right to Donald Trump. Immediately mentions him twice within the first 5 seconds. She still hasn't closed the deal. She still hasn't said to people exactly what she would do. In fact, what she should have done in the opening of that town hall is said, I want to tell you what I'm going to do in the first hour, in the first day, and in the first week.
Luntz seems kind of desperate to help her with messaging, doesn't he?
I mean, she seriously needs the help. He's spot on. And that was what Katie Couric was saying, is that she takes a long time to make a point, but then doesn't really actually make one. And she seems very scared to say something like answer a direct question about her plans for the wall, the border, because she's worried that maybe it'll come back to bite her.
Well, I mean, she's got PTSD from that beating she took in the primary in 2019, right? When she expressed her real feelings and got exactly 2% of support of left-wing liberal, even left-wing liberal Democrats didn't like her when she told you what she really wanted to do, which is hard. That's hard to do. Mm-hmm. Or maybe that 2% represented the really hard-wing pink hat wearing lefties in the Democrat Party. I don't know what the answer is. I got some reaction from Scott Jennings on it, who's about the only sane voice on CNN these days. I'll get to that for you coming up in just a minute. But first, Carl, I guess we should get to the fray.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, good morning to you and happy Friday. We've got an early morning accident up north. It's westbound 270 at Hanley. The 2 right lanes are blocked. Only the left lanes are getting through. And it's early enough. I'm looking at the Cordell & Cordell domestic litigation firm traffic camera that we don't have any kind of massive delay behind it. So flashing lights on the scene. Again, that is westbound 270 near Hanley this morning, but that's it. Other than that, we look good, and we've got light traffic throughout the entire area. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 520 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
What do you think that Donald Trump is a fascist who is a threat to democracy?
We just had Kamala Harris admit that she's going to violate federal immigration law.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Navigating healthcare can be tricky, but you don't have to do it alone. The Navigator Project is here to help Missourians every step of the way. We provide free, personalized assistance with enrollment in the healthcare marketplace. We'll guide you through your options, help find the right plan, and get the coverage you need. Go to ma4web.org and select the Services tab to find a navigator. Brought to you by the Missouri Association of Area Agencies on Aging.
A strong mind and a legislative body. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Even if we're just dancing in the dark, can't start a fire, worrying about your little world falling apart. This gun's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Oh, my goodness. Maybe people were leaving because he sounded so horrible. I don't know. Is that where Reardon went? I know he's off for a couple days. He might have gone out there to I'm just teasing. He would never go to a Harris rally, but he is a big Bruce Springsteen fan. I think Bruce Unplugged is the problem.
Yes.
If he had his full band behind him with rock guitars and all that, you wouldn't hear mostly
Little Steven
him.
and Max Weinberg.
Yeah.
Maybe the rest of the E Street Band is not necessarily politically in with Bruce.
Could be. I don't know. But that was not his best performance yesterday. Maybe he didn't warm up enough. And it's true, though, the minute he got done, and there was a fairly good-sized crowd at the arena, but it was pretty obvious why most of them were there, because they heard their idol Bruce Springsteen was going to be there, and big empty pockets of seats suddenly appeared when he was done. People got up and walked out.
It sounds like that will happen, isn't it, tonight when she's having Beyonce attend one of her rallies?
Well, no. You need to understand what's happening here. She's not attending a Kamala rally. Kamala had to fly to Houston to hold a rally to get Beyonce to attend.
She's like, I'm going to go to her concert and just call it a rally because Beyonce will pack the arena that I could not pack.
That's what she's doing. In Red, Texas, Kamala Harris isn't going to get a huge crowd. Beyonce will. Maybe she'll sing her country song, you think?
It's not that the Republicans haven't had some celebrities, trying to express their support, but it is sad. It feels like the Democrats, they are really relying on that, leaning into the whole, look at Hollywood, they support us. Well, of course Hollywood supports them.
Kim, in the Republican Party, it's Celebrity Apprentice right now. Trump is the star.
Yeah.
And people show up to see Trump.
Yes.
Not because he's dragging a UFC star or Dana White or Kid Rock. I mean, some people might show up in Michigan to see Kid Rock or Ted Nugent if he's running around Michigan. But Trump's not flying to a different state just to get somebody else to fill up the arena. He's filling up the arena. He's filling up Madison Square Garden in New York City, and it's driving the left nuts. Hillary Clinton accused him of being like a Nazi because of Madison Square Garden. Go to cut 5.
One other thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book. President Franklin Roosevelt was appalled that neo-Nazis, fascists in America were lining up to essentially pledge their support for the kind of government that they were seeing in Germany. So I don't think we can ignore it.
What a horrible woman she is.
Yeah, honestly. How many events have been held in Madison Square Garden?
Lots.
Basketball games.
Hockey games.
Concerts. But because one rally by Donald Trump's being held there, it must be just like a Nazi rally held in the 1930s. Are you kidding me? I mean, what a horrible woman she is.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
Again, the party of tolerance speaks.
Back off, you creep.
Back up, you creep. Get away from me.
We're back with Kim on a Whim right after this.
Follow Marc on Twitter at MarcCox971.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res, and let's do something a little special here for the end of the month of October. I'm going to call an audible for you here, and I want you to take advantage of a great sale this week from my friends at Zero Res. So here's the update. Don't tell anyone. You can take advantage of this when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk when you book, and I'm going to give you all the details on how to book in a second, but here's the sale for this week. 3 rooms starting at $119. That's $50 in savings, $75 off the air ducts. That's very important to do this time of year as the furnaces are starting to get kicked on. So they have great service. They have awesome crews here in the St. Louis area. They can help you not only clean your carpeting, your upholstery, your area rugs, the grout lines on your floors. They can do it all. And they do it professionally with great customer service, which is why they have the legendary 30-day gotta love it guarantee. Take advantage of a great sale at the end of October. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Any scattered showers, rumbles of thunder will get out of the picture very quickly this morning. Basically, the sun is back for a good portion of the day. Northwest winds slowly taking over, 75 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. It's chilly, 48 for the low. The weekend looks fantastic. Saturday, sunny. It's cooler. It's nice, 65. 43 Saturday night and Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Today, AutoNation, Colgate-Palmolive, HCA Healthcare, and Newell Brands report earnings. James Iorio, director of TJM Institutional Services, says now Wall Street is waiting for major tech earnings. Most are coming out next week.
Until we get to the murderer's row of Apple, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA is not for a long time. That's what's going to be more important because it's going to have major macroeconomic implications for the country, not just for the company itself.
This morning, we'll find out how expensive manufactured things are selling. The report is released on durable goods orders for September. And the University of Michigan's October reading on consumer sentiment is out this morning. Sentiment declined early this month, with those surveyed continuing to express frustration over high prices. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
Hi, I'm Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. Financial advisors, let's face it, if you're not growing your practice, you're losing market share. Stifel is a growing, entrepreneurial, advisor-centric firm built for successful advisors like you. There's a reason why 148 financial advisors joined Stifel last year. Come join us and find out why Stifel is the firm where success meets success. Visit www.choosestifel.com.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you and happy Friday. We do have an accident at this hour. It's up north, westbound 270 at Hanley. Now they've got the two right lanes blocked, and we're starting to see a little bit of a backup. There wasn't much of one at the beginning. It's pretty early, and Friday mornings generally have super light traffic. But the two right lanes are blocked, and there is a bit of a delay through there. Now, other than that, we look good at this hour. Things are fine. Eastbound 70, 64, 44 from out west into downtown. And if you are headed in from Illinois, things look fine on the bridges. In fact, we look good through there. Northbound 55 is also in good shape at this hour. Through the multiple construction zones, it still looks good. This report brought to you by New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring. New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring offers state-of-the-art AI detection system, modern apartments, and delicious meals. New Perspective of Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour day. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 533 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
This summer, children throughout our region will hear the devastating news that they have been diagnosed with a critical illness. But there is hope, there is you. You can transform lives this summer by supporting the Make-A-Wish Foundation and helping to deliver hope, strength, and joy in a time when it is needed most. Your donations will truly change lives and restore childhood back to those who have lost it due to a medical diagnosis. Visit wish.org/MoCan to give the gift of a wish today.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Or if that resume was from someone who
worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through, and that's what I bring to work every day.
So maybe it's time we look beyond the resume and look to grads of life. Discover new ways to develop great talent that are so much more than what's on paper at gradsoflife.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
Your political sixth sense. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
It's a very extravagant holiday tradition.
Neiman Marcus is out with its 98th edition of its Christmas book, and as always, it features some unusual and high-priced items.
And after 98 years of putting out this Christmas book, Neiman Marcus has quietly taken off the word Christmas and changed it to holiday book because Christmas is just way too offensive.
Are you kidding me?
Do you remember Kamala Harris spoke about this? And I want to say this was back in 2016. And I think she just said it in such an eloquent way. Listen to this.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
How dare you? Don't you dare utter those words. Happy holidays, okay? It's all about inclusivity. In fact, that was what I believe it was the CEO, actually, it was a spokesperson, rather, for the retailer. Neiman Marcus said, in the spirit of inclusivity, there it is, as it welcomes customers of all backgrounds, religions, and traditions to celebrate the season. Ding, 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 ding. That's why, because it's offensive. How dare you say Merry Christmas? How dare you?
Well, I mean, how long? It couldn't have. We can't be surprised that they've gotten to this point. Maybe I'm more surprised that it took this long.
Well, I thought a lot of companies and bands changed their name back in, I guess it would have been 2020, 2021. Like the Dixie Chicks became the Chicks. And there were other bands. Carl, you would know. What were some of the other bands?
Lady Antebellum.
Thank you. Is it Lady A now?
Yes.
Okay.
A can stand for a lot of things. Yeah. Yeah. I would venture to guess that sales will be down. I mean, here's the thing. At our church every year, the message is give more of yourself and less material stuff. So true Christians don't see the holiday as a commerce-driven event. However, retail has always seen it as a commerce-driven event. I mean, it's not a Hallmark holiday. People are actually out celebrating. You don't have to encourage them to do that. You just want them to come to your store and buy their Christmas gifts that they're going to spend on. Why would any retailer want to not acknowledge that? Right? I mean, why would you do that? It's like not saying Happy Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day. You want to sell as many chocolate-covered strawberries as you can on that day. I don't understand that at all. It defies logic from a commerce perspective. Just like Anheuser-Busch going out and getting Dylan Mulvaney to push Bud Light. Mm-hmm. What small percentage of your audience are you actually appealing to with that message?
Right, and it's funny that Neiman Marcus did it quietly, and I'm not surprised. But these companies, they want to make these changes, but they don't want to be forthcoming about it because they know it will upset people. I think about Harley Davidson, and they've been under fire for several months now because of some of these DEI things they were doing. I think it was Lowe's maybe that just reversed some of its DEI policies because they weren't effective. It was angering customers. And so they realized, okay, we should probably end these and maybe sales will go up, and they should also improve their customer service. That's a separate topic, but it's worth saying.
It's worth pointing out, a friend of mine who has been very successful, he's held C-suite level jobs in a number of different industries. And he said that corporate America is a bubble where people have one goal. Number one, the CEOs want to surround themselves with people on boards who will reappoint them as CEO. So once they've gotten the golden handcuffs on, they don't want to do anything to upset the liberals they've surrounded themselves with on these boards. The people who get appointed to these corporate boards make a couple $100,000 a year just for being a board member and attending a meeting or two. They don't want to lose these lucrative jobs. They feel a little bit of pressure from an outside group like BLM or whoever is against Christmas, and they pressure woke corporate policies on these corporations. The CEOs go along with it because they don't want to buck the board, and they exist in a bubble. It's not reality based. It's not because there's any real reason to do it other than they want to feel good, which is why liberals do everything. They don't use their brain. It's just however it makes them feel.
Right.
And then you end up with corporate policies like this, or at Anheuser-Busch, or Target, or any number of these big corporations who think they're appealing to the good in someone when it's a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage of people who are going to buy their product. And they're alienating all of those people who don't have that point of view. Why would you do that?
Well, I remember when Target was going through everything and so many people were boycotting them, myself included. They were coming out and saying they don't really care about the sales as much as they care about that score. And I'm blanking on what it is. It's like an S something,
Yes,
whatever score.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Basically, how inclusive are they? All of those things. So I think it did make an impact that all of us were boycotting them because their sales were noticeably down.
absolutely.
I mean, money does, right? I mean, money drives the majority of really decisions in the world, but sadly, but ultimately they just wanted to make sure that they were getting a good score on that.
If you have a big enough constituency, you can get away with blackmail, corporate blackmail like that. I mean, it's how Jesse Jackson enriched himself. It's how Al Sharpton enriched themselves. They went to these big corporations and said, you will either fund the Rainbow Coalition or we will boycott your business and make you look bad and accuse you of being racist, and the money poured in. It's how the race baiters enriched themselves in this country because they had a big enough constituency. Some of these folks can't get away with that now, I don't believe. And it's going to come back to bite them in the retail pants at Christmas time.
If enough people do boycott, and I don't know how many people are actually in this case shopping at Neiman Marcus. I mean, seriously, who can afford stuff at Neiman Marcus? I'm looking at the website right now, and I think these items are featured in their Christmas book, or I'm sorry, should I call it the holiday book?
The restaurant's great.
Oh yeah, I guess I have been. Didn't they have
Mariposa.
that? Well, no, maybe I'm thinking of something different. Anyway, there's this bracelet that looks like I'm sorry, this is the only way I can describe it to you. It looks like those little stones, were put on a piece of just like the stretchy band. I could go make it. What's that craft store that I'm thinking of?
Hobby Lobby?
Hobby Lobby. I could go to Hobby Lobby today, I'm sorry, and make this bracelet. And they're selling it on their website for guess how much?
$800.
Wow, you were really close. $850.
Wow. That's good.
Do you want me to make you one?
Would you do
I'll
that?
sell it and just, up the
Make
price
it-
a little.
make
I'll
it-
sell it for $800, so it's a little less than the Neiman Marcus
I
one.
thought you were going to
You'll get a great deal. Absolutely not.
Free would be a better deal.
And then Marc will sell it for $800.
Yeah, thank you.
I just don't get why these companies have not learned after watching, like you said, watching what AB went through, all of these things. Why are you not learning from that and seeing that these changes that you think are a good idea in the name of inclusivity just tend to backfire? Now, this move from Neiman Marcus is not as overt as what we saw Anheuser-Busch do with Dylan Mulvaney and that personalized can, but it should be obvious to me that this just isn't the right decision. And yet these companies time and again continue making these odd changes that they think are going to win people over because they show their support for all holidays and all backgrounds and all religions.
Yeah. I would agree with that completely. And the thing about it is, here's what they don't understand at Neiman Marcus. They've now pissed off the wrong person. Greta Thunberg is no longer on their Christmas list.
How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones.
We should just play the Kamala bite again. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you say Merry
steal
Christmas?
my dreams. You can steal my dreams.
My dreams? Are you Dracula?
Listen to her.
I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams.
Well, here's the thing that we all need to remember. If Kamala Harris is elected, she wants to support our dreams and aspirations. So,
well, it's true.
Just please remember that.
We will be on the upswing as soon as that happens. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Come back and talk a little bit about the election, the voter guide here that's out and about and available for you as you head to the polls, and how important that can be when you got to go stand in a line for an hour and a half, like I did yesterday, or an hour and 45 minutes. We're going to be back right after this.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you and happy Friday. We actually have an issue at this hour. It was an accident westbound 270 really close to Hanley, and they've got the right lanes blocked. Traffic, of course, behind that is a slow go. Now, if you are eastbound on 70 or 64 or 44, everything looks good. We've got that typical light Friday morning volume, plus it's super early. It's 5:47. And if you're headed in from Illinois, no delays on the bridges downtown. So really off to a good start with that one exception on westbound 270, and it's just a brief slowdown. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 547 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Marc Cox here. I have put together my 2024 general election voters guide with you in mind. The direction of our nation and our state is in your hands now. Visit 971talk.com to see the Marc Cox 2024 voter guide.
St. Louis City 2 is in the MLS Next Pro postseason. Join us Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park as City 2 battles it out in the Western Conference semifinals. Tickets only $13 with player meet and greets, free games, face painting, and more. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com. Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park. Don't miss out on the action and be there as we cheer our team to the finals. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com. Does the state of this economy have your head spinning? Let GregHammonds.com relieve one burden, health insurance. Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com specializes in under 65 health insurance plans that have zero copays and no deductibles. You choose your doctors and hospitals. These plans have nothing to do with your income and are 30 to 60% less than Obamacare. These are also available all year round to those that qualify. If you have a small business or you're paying for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employment coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GregHammonds.com. That's GregHammonds.com. They can customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government. Call 314-794-7784 or go to GregHammonds.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Looking for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair. And hello to thick, healthy hair with hair volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
Deeper than the headlines. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Yeah, it's true. And, yeah. Thank you, President Reagan. Government's the problem. I've talked about this earlier in the week, but it's something I think is worth addressing again. And this is, I don't know what's going to happen post-election. Now, I mean, I like to come here on the radio and tell you that based on momentum I'm seeing in this race, I think Donald Trump's got a good chance of getting reelected. I believe that could happen. And the Democrats will tell you, including Kamala Harris, that if that happens, he's going to come and try to lock you up. He's going to be a dictator. He's going to end democracy as we know it, even though he did none of those things when he was president for 4 years the last time around. And hopefully people that hear her spew this nonsense understand that it's not Donald Trump you need to be worried about. So if you heard that soundbite with Marc Halperin and Tucker last week that I aired, he's truly convinced that people are going to take to the streets if this election doesn't go the way they want it to go, right? Maybe on both sides, but certainly on the liberal left-wing nut jobs embodied in the face of that crazy professor at the University of Missouri a few years ago who's now infamous on memes for screaming at somebody because she didn't like their point of view. Those people will take to the streets. The minute it's announced that Donald Trump won the election, you know that they will, because they're crazy. They're going to be screaming that their rights are being taken away and they're being forced back into the Jim Crow era and all of the garbage that the left has been spewing against Donald Trump, and not a single word of it is based in any fact whatsoever. No evidence of this, right? But what's interesting here is that the left will always accuse you of what they're guilty of. Always. It's what they do. And this Department of Defense directive that we mentioned earlier this week is something that I don't know how you can ignore. This quietly floated out on September 27th of this year. So not quite a month ago, this was issued in the dark of the night. And had somebody not picked up on it, we might not even be aware of it. Department of Defense Directive 5240.01, cleared for public release from the Directions Division of the Department of Defense. And the what it does is it amends their intelligence activities that can be approved by the commander, not just the commander-in-chief, but the Department of Defense, right? The defense secretary can approve this. And I just want to read it to you because I think it's important that people understand this. The defense intelligence components, this was already part of the law, may provide personnel to assist a federal department or agency, including law enforcement, or a state or local law enforcement agency when lives are in danger in response to a request for such assistance in accordance with the following approval authorities. The Secretary of Defense may approve any type of requested permissible assistance. Here's what they added. Assistance is responding with assets for potential lethality or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals in groups is reasonably anticipated. Such use of force will be in accordance with DOD Section 5210, potentially as further restricted based on the specifics of the requested support. So in other words, they quietly changed this to allow the United States military to be called up by the Secretary of Defense to use lethal force against citizens who take to the street in protests that they don't like. That's not Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense. That's Kamala Harris's and Joe Biden's Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. Why did they change this 1 month and a half before a federal election? Because they think the outcome is not going to be what they wanted. We'll be back in just a minute.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. MS attacks the brain and spinal cord. It's the most common neurological disease leading to disability in young adults. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Join us. Together we are stronger. Walk MS fundraising accelerates research breakthroughs and life-changing breakthroughs. It will take all of our passion, determination, and fundraising to end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Join us. Register today, start a team, and raise funds at walkms.org.
Hey contractors, it's Andrea and Scott at Best Buy Flooring.
If you haven't been shopping with us, you owe it to your customers and yourself to check out Best Buy Flooring.
We can meet all flooring needs at the lowest prices in town. Check out our huge selection of carpet tiles, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tiles, sheet vinyl, ceramic, hardwood, and laminate.
Come see us at our 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week, including at South County. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
One former president campaigns against another. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Just because he acts goofy does not mean his presidency wouldn't be dangerous.
Former President Obama at a rally in Georgia speaking out against former President Trump, and for Vice President Harris.
We will build a future where we bring down the cost of living, and that will be my focus every single day as President of the United States.
Bruce Springsteen also performed at the Harris rally, and today Beyonce will take the stage with the Vice President in Texas. There will also be a Trump event in Texas and then Michigan after the former president rallied in Arizona and in Nevada.
She is grossly incompetent, let's face it. She's not doing well.
And he continued to blame Vice President Harris for a record surge of illegal immigration.
She has unleashed an army of migrant gangs who are waging a campaign of violence.
So Harris is touting a big reduction in border crossings since the summer. It's another deadly day in the Middle East.
Hezbollah fired more rockets from Lebanon here into Israel, pretty much a daily occurrence here. And the IDF now says it has lost 10 soldiers in total killed in battle over the past 24 hours or so.
Fox's Matt Finn in Tel Aviv. Israel's also dropped more airstrikes in Lebanon, where 3 journalists were killed. And the day after Secretary of State Antony Blinken urged Israel to end the war in Gaza after killing Hamas's leader, Israel launched more attacks in Gaza today that killed, Palestinians say, at least 38 people. McDonald's has named the culprit of food contamination in quarter pounders that are off the menu in some areas. One person died.
McDonald's says Taylor Farms of Salinas, California was the source of the onions suspected in dozens of E. coli cases across 10 states. Food wholesaler U.S. Foods claims that Taylor Farms had issued a recall this week for peeled, whole, and diced yellow onions for potential E. coli contamination.
That's Fox's Jack Callahan. America's listening to Fox News.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Good morning, 64 degrees now at 6:03. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis leaders broke ground Thursday on a new $45 million 911 center. This will be the first time fire, police, and EMS will all be in one building in the city. The city says this will improve response times. They're not great here. Nationally, 90% of 911 calls are answered within 10 seconds. Here in St. Louis, only 75%. Funding for the 911 center comes from the state and money from the American Rescue Plan Act. A former Florissant police officer is now facing a third lawsuit from someone claiming he stole nude photos from a woman's phone during a traffic stop. So far, 4 women have come forward with accusations against him. The Missouri Department of Public Safety says that officer has permanently suspended his peace officer license. An important event coming up this weekend where you can support a great cause. The St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's is tomorrow at the Chesterfield Amphitheater. Last year, they raised more than $1 million. Registration opens tomorrow morning at 8. The walk starts at 10. You can register by visiting alz.org/STLwalk. It is 6:04 and 64 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, the Blues beat Toronto 5-1 last night on the road. Tomorrow, they'll be in Montreal, then Tuesday in Ottawa. The Blues will wrap up their road trip on Halloween in Philadelphia. Tonight, the Dodgers are hosting the Yankees for Game 1 of the World Series. First pitch is 7:08. 64 degrees now as we come up on 6:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center. Air Comfort Service. Heating.
Well, we've got a couple issues at this hour, one of which is an accident westbound 270 at Hanley. And it is blocking the 2 right lanes. Traffic, of course, a little bit slow behind that. Now, we also have an incident. Looks like an accident here, too. Northbound 55 near Arsenal. Now, this one is on the left shoulder, but they also have the right shoulder blocked. So a little bit tricky through there, but the lanes are actually open. It's the shoulders that are having issues. And then we had an accident reported westbound 44 near Antire. But I'm looking on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm traffic cameras. I'm not seeing that. I'm not sure whether they're just in the wrong direction, but just take care as you travel through there this morning. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 6:05 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Any scattered showers, rumbles of thunder will get out of the picture very quickly this morning. Basically, the sun is back for a good portion of the day. Northwest winds slowly taking over, 75 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. It's chilly, 48 for the low. The weekend looks fantastic. Saturday, sunny. It's cooler. It's nice, 65. 43 Saturday night and Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
606 and 64 degrees. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides.
The bottom line is, I respect that. We don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice. Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
Hey, good morning to you. It is Friday. We made it. It's the 25th day of October, 9 days away from Election Day. And I don't know about you. If you have not voted early, you very soon may be in the minority. I don't know. Kim, we got some new numbers yesterday from St. Louis County, which the reason I know them, quite frankly, is because they're emailing us every day, ever so often with totals.
I wish St. Charles County would do the same thing, because it's fun seeing the numbers. Come
on, Kevin Killeen. Get on the ball out there, buddy. He's doing the PR stuff for the county in St. Charles now. So maybe he'll start doing that. But it is interesting to see. What were the latest numbers from St. Louis County?
Just yesterday, 18,254 people voted.
So 15,000 voted the first day, which was Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So they're averaging about that many or a little over each day so far.
Well, and because I was going to say I don't remember seeing the numbers that you sent me for Wednesday. But yeah, it seems like it increased. So I would say between 15,000 and 18,000, that's pretty solid. I don't know if that's record breaking, but if it's not, it certainly has to be close.
Yeah, true. And that was our situation out in St. Charles County, and I have to just talk about that because it's where I voted yesterday. I drove straight out there, not immediately after work, but after we did the Second Amendment Radio in the Great Outdoors, and I got out there about 11:40, I guess. I pull up in front of the Element Church. I see the line in the front of the building, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll just go down there and get in the line at the end of the building. And when I walked down there, I saw that it wrapped around the building, and then it wrapped around again all the way into a back parking lot. And I started asking people, how long is this going to take? And it became pretty clear it was going to be in excess of an hour and a half. And it took me an hour and 45 minutes by the time I walked back out to my car. So that included the voting time. But between the line time and the voting time, an hour and 45 minutes.
Which is funny because you were going live on Facebook and you were discovering the line wrapping around the building live. You're like, whoa, it doesn't end, it keeps going.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did see a lot of people, thankfully, who took their sample ballots with them and had at least familiarized themselves with what the ballot looks like before they got in there. And I think that probably is the reason it was only an hour and a half, because hour and 40 minutes, because the people were at least familiar with what they were going to have to vote on. You're going to want to do that. Every county has a few different judges than every other county, because there are local county-wide judges who are going to be on the ballot for you for sure. But we do have, in general, like for the statewide judges, we do have that list up at the top of the Facebook page. You can find it there, the Marc Cox Show on Facebook. We are live on Rumble and Facebook and X and YouTube this morning, so you can go up there and follow the show. My voter guide is up there on 971talk.com. You can download a copy of it, print it off. You can even look at it on your phone if you need to when you get to the voting booth to kind of explain what these amendments are if you're not familiar with them. Basically, I'm a no on all of them except number 7, which is the one that will ban ranked choice voting and ban non-citizens from ever voting in the state of Missouri. Don't buy the lie that it's already illegal for non-citizens to vote. That's not true. In federal elections it is, but they can still, some local municipalities, and they've done this around the country, can enact policies allowing non-citizens to cast ballots in municipal elections. So this puts an end to all of that. But if you have questions, the voter guide's up there, and we're just trying to help out as much as we can. It's going to be a big day a week from Tuesday. Coming up, speaking of that, we're going to talk to Denny Hoskins. He'll be on that ballot. He's currently a Missouri senator, but he got the Republican nomination for Secretary of State. He has some ideas that he'd like to implement when he becomes Secretary of State regarding paper ballots, same-day voting, that sort of thing, electronic machines. We're going to talk to him about that at 7:35. Senator Josh Hawley joins us at 8:08. Right now, I want to get to the short list, please.
The Marc Cox short list.
You've got a person that grew up under sometimes challenging circumstances, running against someone who is physically attractive.
Leave it to Bill Clinton to suggest that somebody might vote for Carrie Lake out in Arizona just because she happens to be beautiful. That's pretty much what he suggested, and Bill knows a thing or two about that.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book.
I thought I'd give you the two Clintons, a twofer there on the Clintons. All right, that's the Hill. She's angry and trying to claim that despite the thousands of events that have happened in Madison Square Gardens through the years, concerts, hockey games, basketball games, all of that, Donald Trump holding a rally there must be a Nazi rally.
The negative, dark, divisive, dangerous vision and behavior of people who support Donald Trump. It is time.
That is a little side-by-side somebody brilliantly edited with the same rhetoric of Hillary Clinton that you're now hearing from Kamala Harris, and the voices are equally annoying.
Kamala Harris does not have the compassion, the intelligence, or the strength the presidency needs. I know what it needs.
Yes, indeed. That is the president there speaking yesterday at one of his rallies. I don't know if that was in Nevada.
I believe it was in Nevada.
Arizona, one of the two. He was in both places yesterday. They're getting around. And imagine in the middle of all of this, in the middle of a close election, what are you doing? You're doing all of these things, and then you're going to New York City. You're stopping in the middle of it to go to New York City and hold a rally at Madison Square Garden. A Republican has not won that state, I don't think, since Ronald Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
So he's either got some confidence that he might be within striking distance in New York, or he's just trying to irritate the left. One of the two. He's
Could
good
be
at that.
both.
Good
You
at
know,
that.
he's going on Joe Rogan's podcast today as well. And I don't know when that airs. I would guess not today.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
They're
I don't-
recording it today at the very least.
Yeah, I assume that they don't carry that live. I don't know if they do or not. I assume it's all recorded. But I thought it was interesting because yesterday J.D. Vance went on to his own town hall with supposedly undecided voters on News Nation with Chris Cuomo. Did you hear this?
I saw some of it.
I thought it was pretty good. They specifically went to one caller in the middle of all of this. Listen.
Call right now from former President Donald John Trump. He wants to weigh in. Mr. President, I know there's a little bit of a delay. Can you hear us? And what is your question for the senator?
Well, I can hear you, Chris, and I do have a question, and I think it'll be quite an interesting one. The answer should be easy. How brilliant is Donald J. Trump?
Take your time. Think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Here's the best thing about this. Trump, it's obviously tongue-in-cheek, right? Trump's just giving him a hard time. And what was so great about it, though, is that J.D. Vance blushed. This obviously wasn't something he was expecting. They didn't work it out ahead of time and say, I'm going to do this bit where I call in and ask you this question, because Vance had to think on his feet. You could tell that was not a pre-scripted situation. And he told an incredible story about Trump when Trump first met his wife when they hosted an event in Cincinnati after he got named the vice presidential pick. I want to share that with you in a minute because I think it gives a little bit of insight to who Trump is, despite other than just the guy you see giving sound bites all the time, some of which are loud, some of which might be obnoxious. He's in New York. He's a businessman. He does what he does. We don't always like what he says. Some people are turned off by it. I don't know. But there's a personal side to everybody who's met Trump, and I'm going to play that for you when we come back in just a minute here on the show. Coming up, we'll get you a check of business. We've got in other news this morning with Ethan at about 6:45. JJ Carafano, Denny Hoskins, Josh Hawley, all joining us on the show today. Stay tuned.
Tell them it's going to be a rock and roll weekend. Rock and roll.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got some issues on the roads. First of all, I just had an accident reported south Lindbergh at Mueller. But an accident northbound 55 near Arsenal this morning had the left and right lanes, the left and right shoulders blocked, and the lanes were fine. But, if you're traveling through that area, just watch out. It looks like it's a tow truck on the right shoulder. I'm looking at the Cordell & Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. Right shoulder and left shoulder blocked. There was an accident this morning up north, and this one is westbound 270, really close to Hanley. And they've had the right lanes blocked, and that continues to be the case. If you are westbound on 270, they've moved this accident as far to the right as they can, but it's still causing a delay in that area. Now, other than that, we look pretty good with light traffic in general at this hour. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 618 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
All right, Overhead Door has got a fantastic opportunity for you, and I just got to tell you, I don't know why you wouldn't do it because it's for free. No purchase is necessary. Go to their website, overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com, and enter their sweepstakes right now. And you have a chance to win $5,000 in that sweepstakes, and, of course, you can use that money. You can apply it toward brand new garage doors, or maybe you have a gate at your house, or you have an entry door. You want whatever you want. You can go on and look at their products. It's a long list. They've got garage door screens, those things you can put on there to keep bugs out if you spend a lot of time in there in the summer. Entry doors, garage door. Commercial products as well for whatever you need. You can win $5,000 toward the garage door or entry door of your dreams right now, and it's free. Now, in the meantime, write this number down, 636-692-4441. If you have garage door problems, they will do service 7 days a week. You can't beat that. Same-day service 7 days a week, 314-781-5200 or overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
97.1 and thousands of music options, plus millions of podcasts are all on the free Odyssey app. Download the app or tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 and it comes up automatically. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Roots and Boots Tour 90s Electric Throwdown with Sammy Kershaw.
That's my story.
Colin Ray.
Oh, that's my story.
And Aaron Tippett. Saturday, November 9th at the Family Arena.
But there ain't nothing wrong with
Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture Box Office, located at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster. Roots and Boots Tour 90s Electric Throwdown. Step into a world of enchantment this holiday season with Cirque Musica Holiday Wonderland. From awe-inspiring acrobatics to gravity-defying aerial feats, it's the perfect fusion of circus artistry and beloved holiday songs in a celebration guaranteed to create memories for the entire family. December 5th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. On sale at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Inspire your holiday spirit with Cirque Musica Holiday Wonderland.
Hi, Sean Long from STL Fenceworks. Satisfaction starts with quality materials. We are proud to install high-quality, American-made aluminum and vinyl fence products and maintenance-free decking. We've teamed up with Jareth Manufacturing, inventors of the aluminum fence industry. STL Fenceworks has also partnered with National Vinyl Products to offer the latest colors and variegated wood-grain vinyl fence options, all made in the U.S. At STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction is our passion. Visit stlfenceworks.com today and let us make your backyard dreams into a reality.
Solutions with conviction. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
First of all, sir, of course, you're very brilliant, and we both agree. We both agree that it's important to have very smart people running our government. But here's the thing about President Trump that, aside of you, sir, if you'll forgive me for telling this story that I think often people don't see. And, of course, I got my beautiful wife here in the front row. And one of my favorite moments with President Trump is we were hosting an event for him near our home in Cincinnati a few months ago. And, of course, my wife was a little bit nervous to really, talk to the President of the United States. And he asked her, what do you think about your husband being in public service? And she gives, if you know my wife, a very diplomatic answer. Sir, he really cares about the people of Ohio. He's thrilled to be able to serve them, and I'm happy to support him however I can. And President Trump chuckles and goes, yeah, my wife hates it too. and the thing that it did is it just immediately broke the barrier. And it wasn't the former president. It was just a person talking to my wife. And I think you guys were able to have a nice conversation. But that ability to relate to anybody in any environment, I think that's the true brilliance of Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I love that story because you just don't see that side of him. The goofy side we see it in, which he was doing yesterday at one of those rallies where he was doing the classic Donald Trump little dance move, and then he added a golf swing at the end. But that's about it. You don't hear those personal stories, but other people who interact with him like that, they will say he's really, really great one-on-one at connecting, and he's personable.
Yeah, I mean, he's built that personal, that public persona, and he's on all the time when he's on it. But in person, I've heard those same stories from a number of people that have met him over the years. There was one more question Donald Trump had during that phone call after J.D. Vance got done telling that really long story.
Maybe I'll ask a second one. I watched, believe it or not, CNN last night. And in watching it, I watched the town hall with Kamala. Now, let me ask you a second, Hobie. That was not good. How brilliant is Kamala?
Oh, that's a very tough one, sir. I'm supposed to say something.
Don't say it. Don't say it. We don't want to hear. We don't need any more. We're doing just fine.
Don't say it on second thought. Again, more evidence of. I mean, I've rarely seen J.D. Vance at a loss for words. He's usually really good at rolling with those kinds of things. He was being very cautious with what he was going to say right there. Right.
I don't feel like. I think he's kind of left some of those things to Trump. I think Trump tends to hit on Kamala for not being smart, and not that J.D. Vance hasn't taken those hits at her. It's just not quite the same.
Yeah. I would agree with that completely. Kamala is appearing with Beyonce today, I think, in Houston. Isn't it today?
Yeah.
Springsteen yesterday outside of Atlanta.
Eminem the other day.
Hoping that, I don't know how many Springsteen fans there are in Atlanta. I would assume a number of them. But hoping somehow that people are going to change their vote because she's been endorsed by... I mean, I'm waiting for Taylor Swift to blow into town and try to do something for her, right? If Beyonce's doing something for her. I would never vote for a politician just because one of my favorite actors or actresses or singers endorsed them, ever.
Same.
Now, if one of my favorite actors or singers endorse somebody I already like, that's great. I'm happy about that. It's not going to influence my decision on who I'm voting for in any way, shape, or form. But they did catch one of my favorite actors the other day in an airport, and that is Mel Gibson. And he's always been one of my favorites from way back. Carl, go to cut number 10, please.
Being voted on in days. What's your thoughts?
Oh, man, that's a big question.
What's wrong?
I don't think it's going to surprise anyone who I vote for.
Well, so, I mean, I'm going to guess. We go in. Yeah. I'm going to guess Trump. Is that a bad guess?
I think it's a pretty good guess.
Well, what do you think the world will be like in a second term with President Trump's second term? A lot of people
I know what it'll be like if we let her in.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And that ain't good.
Yeah. Well,
miserable track record, appalling track record, no policies to speak of.
Yeah. And the border, right?
And she's got the IQ of a fence post.
A fence post.
The IQ. He may be insulting fence posts there. Actually, when I think about it, I don't think that she's a stupid person. I don't. You can't get through law school, and you can't have you can dumb your way through some things in life, but to have been elected to the United States Senate and elected to Attorney General, I know the party embraced her for a variety of reasons. She fit a lot of profiles they were looking for. But you've got to have some semblance of intelligence to get through law school. She just has no common sense or relatability. She can't relate to people. She can't make small talk. She can't talk about policies. How could you envision that individual running the free world? I mean, our enemies are chomping at the bit to have to face off with Kamala Harris. I will guarantee you that. All right, coming up, we're going to get you a check of business. It looks like Nicole Murray is finally back from vacation. We'll be back.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
She learned the value of hard work and responsibility at her family's small business at an early age. Ann Wagner took those same hard-working Missouri values to Washington. She's made it her job to keep the radical left from harming your job. Today, in the midst of Joe Biden's out-of-control inflation, Ann Wagner protects us by working to lower costs for families. As a mother of three, she understands the work and has done it to keep your home and community safe. That's why Ann Wagner fought to secure our border and stop traffickers from smuggling fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our communities, and why she gave law enforcement the tools they need to defend us. And Ann Wagner took a stand against the defund the police radicals who will leave us in harm's way. She'll always back our brave law enforcement officers, putting conservative values to work for us. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Any scattered showers, rumbles of thunder will get out of the picture very quickly this morning. Basically, the sun is back for a good portion of the day. Northwest winds slowly taking over, 75 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. It's chilly, 48 for the low. The weekend looks fantastic. Saturday, sunny. It's cooler. It's nice, 65. 43 Saturday night and Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Good Good morning. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. It is 6:30 and 64 degrees. Victims of the Central Visual Performing Arts School shooting were remembered Thursday at a vigil to mark the second anniversary of that tragedy. Students at CVPA were given the day off in remembrance. Therapy dogs will be at school today. A teacher and student were killed in the 2022 shooting. Police shot and killed the gunman. Money from the Ram settlement will be used to address climate change in St. Louis County. The Department of Planning will be in charge of that effort. County Executive Sam Page, who signed the bill Thursday, says the goal here is to help the county be more resistant to extreme weather. The actions, though, that group will take to meet that goal have not been announced. In sports, the Blues beat Toronto 5-1 last night. Tomorrow they'll be in Montreal, Tuesday in Ottawa. The Blues will then wrap up their road trip on Halloween in Philadelphia. Tonight, the Dodgers are hosting the Yankees for Game 1 of the World Series. First pitch is 7:08. I'm Kim St. Ange. It is now 6:31 and 64 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
We've got an accident now. This one just happened eastbound 70 west of 64. And it was a vehicle that we're getting some light rain out there, and this vehicle spun out and is facing the wrong direction, kind of on the left shoulder. But they're now having to shut down that left lane. I just posted on X if you want to see what I'm talking about. And again, this is eastbound 70 west of 64. Crews just arriving on the scene, and they have the left lane and the left shoulder blocked. And of course, some slow-moving traffic. Now, the accident westbound 270 at Hanley, the crews have moved off to the right side as far as they can, still causing delays for those westbound 270 drivers this morning. Let's see, we also had an accident reported southbound Lindbergh near Mueller and an accident northbound 55. That one was near Arsenal, and they had both shoulders blocked there, but it didn't look like an actual traffic lane was blocked. And that has been cleared, so no issues through there anymore, and things are in pretty good shape. This report brought to you by GHR Contracting. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 632 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Not many window companies do egress windows. Those are the ones used in basements or floors with no emergency exit. GHRcontracting.com. We offer same-day install and financing 0% for 18 months, and there's no hassle with price negotiation. Get an upfront quote on the phone. GHRcontracting.com.
All right, winter, bring it. I'm ready for you now. My friends at Pro Outdoor at my house this week, in fact, and they came over on Wednesday, and they winterized my irrigation system. They do maintenance service on your irrigation system, and they make sure that backflow regulator is cleared out of water, and they blow out the lines to make sure you're not going to have any freezing issues over the course of the winter, so that you're ready to get it charged back up when spring comes. They do a core package that includes winterization and then opening it back up in the spring for you, so it's sort of one-stop shopping. I love what they do at Pro Irrigation. They're shutting those down before the hard freeze gets here. You've got to call them today. If you haven't done it yet, you got to take action. 636-692-4441. 692-4441. Let Pro Outdoor get you on their schedule today. You can go online to prooutdoor.com.
97.1 FM Talk is your home for Election Night 2024. On air and online, we're covering the races that matter most to you with real-time results and expert commentary. Democracy 2024.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you don't need the biggest law firm. You need the best. Onder Law, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis, is the insurance company playing games, trying to deny the medical treatment you need, refusing to pay your lost wages. Let Onder Law fight for the benefits you deserve. Injured on the job? Call Onder Law for free. 314 or 618-9-MILLION. That's 314 or 618-9, all zeros.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
He's bringing the heat. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47.
That was the police when they showed up at Lucas Kuntz's door. I'm just kidding. Beto O'Rourke there, one of my favorite drops. Kim and I were just joking here in the commercial about the fact that what was the news organization that was reporting this on
Daily
on
Wire?
The Daily
20
Wire.
minutes ago.
Yeah, pointing out that, Kuntz, of course, wounded a reporter at a staged event where he was trying to fool everybody into believing he's a Second Amendment supporter, and he shot a reporter, basically. Bullet ricocheted off a steel target that wasn't set up far enough away. They should have known better, and the guy's lucky he didn't get hit in the head or something. It could have killed him. And this report is pointing out that he didn't inform the police that had happened until the next day.
Yep. A reporter was injured at a gun range campaign event for Missouri Democrat Lucas Kuntz, who failed to alert authorities until a day after the incident.
Ouch. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they'll investigate it. It'll depend. I did a little research on that reporter, and I think I've got a better idea now why we haven't heard from him. But I could be wrong. But I'll get to that for you coming up here just a little bit later. Nicole Murray is back. Nicole, are you rested and revved up for the rest of your week, which is one day?
I know. It's such a hard life, but someone's got to do it. I've missed you guys, though.
Well, we missed you, too. It sounded like Gordon was lost without you this week.
Aw. Well, we're back, and I will tease that I'm covered in fake blood right now because we're getting ready to film some Halloween content.
Oh, I'm glad you clarified.
Gordon is a trooper. That some of these videos that you guys do, they're fun. And, man, Gordon goes all out. I just need to convince Marc and Carl to do the same.
Yeah, Gordon acts like he doesn't want to do them, and then he seems like he's having a good time doing them.
That's what I said. Exactly.
Yeah.
Kim, just try fluttering your eyelashes. And
that's what works.
Look like you're about to cry.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
The sad puppy look, like if an officer pulls you over, you're like,
exactly.
I'm so sorry, officer.
Okay, I'll do it. Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what else you got going on out there?
Okay, so futures are slightly higher Thursday. The Dow Industrials lost 140, the Nasdaq gained 138, and the S&P 500 up 12. Following a deadly listeria outbreak in Boar's Head brand deli meats this summer, Schnucks Markets is replacing the supplier with Dietz and Watson starting in November. The recall now includes more than 50 products from Boar's Head facility in Virginia, which has since shut down. A new 207-room hotel has opened on the site of the former Clayton Police Headquarters. The $50 million AC hotel features a rooftop bar and event space. Fenton-based MBG was the builder. Boeing reported a $6 billion loss last quarter, leading its new chief to acknowledge a lack of public trust, high debt, and deep performance problems. President and CEO Kelly Ortberg said in a call with investors that the company must work to reset its relationship with the union and change its workplace culture. Meanwhile, Boeing's largest union remains on strike. McDonald's said that the onions from produce company Taylor Farms is the source linked to the deadly outbreak. The fast food chain has pulled quarter-pounder hamburgers from 20% of U.S. locations as a result of the E. coli outbreak. Other chains, including Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, and Burger King, have pulled onions from some menus. The number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits fell last week, but the total number of those collecting benefits rose to its highest level in almost 3 years. The Labor Department reported applications for jobless claims fell to 227,000 for the week of October 19th. That's less than the 241,000 analysts had predicted. And finally, Domino's has introduced a new invention, lockable pizza boxes to protect your leftovers. To access the leftovers, each box will have its own security code. The pizza chain said this creation is meant to protect pizza from hungry housemates or starving siblings.
How much is that going to add to the price?
Now, maybe it's worth it. If it's like $5 extra, there might be some people.
You could bring it to work.
That's true. You could bring it to work. And, my husband is guilty of that, where I'm all excited about my leftovers, and then I go in and he had a late night snack, and suddenly they're gone.
My sisters and I used to label our leftovers.
Oh,
and
totally.
It would be, but it wouldn't even just be like, this is Nicole's. It would be like, this is Nicole's, Alyssa and Jessica, hands off or else.
Threats.
It got intense. So I wish something like this existed.
Yeah, you take the fork or the knife while you're at the restaurant and you carve your name into the styrofoam container.
Exactly. And I make eye contact with my sisters as I do that. Like, see this? I'm labeling it and I'm watching you.
Wow. People here have started naming their food in the refrigerator. Like last week I ate some pizza and it said Fred on it. I don't know who that belonged to, but it's too late. No, I'm just kidding. No, but honestly, you have to tell me, Nicole, how does this work? Anybody can tear into a cardboard box, and if they're delivering it in something other than
steel
cardboard,
pizza boxes,
it's got to cost a fortune.
I don't think this is something that it will just get delivered with. I take it that this is just a separate purchase altogether that you can buy.
Just go buy yourself a safe in general and put all your leftovers, the food that you want,
in the fridge,
in the safe.
And from the sounds of it, Mark is one of the reasons you guys will need this.
Yeah, I would never.
How about old Fred Bottenheimer over there, ladies and gentlemen?
Nicole, we're glad you're back. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys, so much.
All right, take care. Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. But I do see people do put their stuff in there and put their name on it.
I'm Googling this pizza box.
Who in the world who steals food out of a community refrigerator?
I'll tell you off the air. One person that we know from next door admitted on the air that she
had done it, had taken food. Wow.
Oh, my gosh. I'm looking at pictures of this. This almost looks fake. I don't know.
You think it's like... no publicity is bad publicity because then everybody Googles it. Which company is it?
Domino's.
Domino's is claiming it's got a lockable pizza box.
And it's a security code.
No. I'm not buying
They're going to have one of those where you put your fingerprint on it and that's and it opens it.
Those are expensive.
Oh, I know.
I've got, the portable gun safes so that you can, secure to the post in your car, like under your seat. If you need it for some reason, you need to lock your handgun up or whatever if you're carrying and you can't go into a certain building. But those things are $70 or $80 a piece. Even the cheap ones are $70 or $80 a piece.
Well, you just put your pizza in your gun safe and you pop that puppy in the fridge and there you go.
You've got issues if you've got to get a pizza lockbox.
I usually say, hey, sometimes he will leave me the piece or two, but nothing beats leftover cold pizza. And if I really want something, I'll just say, hey, please, can I please have that? I'm one of those people where I wake up, at 3 a.m. and I'm already excited about what I'm going to eat for lunch or dinner.
Wow. No, I'm only excited when I know you're bringing donuts in or something like that, Carl. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks.
Happy
We're going to keep saying
birthday.
that all day today.
Mark and I missed it.
We missed it.
We are ashamed. We're like the little, the shrimp in Finding Nemo. I am ashamed.
I feel shame.
It's Jacques.
Jacques, yes.
We feel
I am
shame.
ashamed.
He cleans.
He does. Jacques, no cleaning. I am ashamed.
Well, that's all right. Carl's going to keep rubbing salt in the wound. Even though he says
nothing.
That he's not. You texted my daughter. And
No,
told
she
her that
texted.
I forgot your birthday.
She texted me.
Okay, that will never happen again. You have my word on it. All right, coming up, we're going to get to another news with Ethan, our friend J.J. Carafano next hour, and State Senator Denny Hoskins, who is going to be your next Secretary of State. And he's got some very specific ideas on what he wants to do to secure elections. We'll be back.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Hey, we've got some rain out there this morning, especially to the west. So just take care. We had a vehicle spin out eastbound 70 west of 64. It spun out and has been facing the wrong direction, and then crews had to go out there, and they had the left lane blocked while they try to get this taken care of. It looks like it may have been cleared off to the right shoulder now from the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm traffic cameras. So things are better, but you still want to watch out on those wet roads. Now, in North County, there was an accident this morning on westbound 270, pretty much at Hanley, and they've had the right lanes blocked there. Well, that continues to be the case. So if you are taking westbound 270 toward the Interbelt, there is some slow-moving traffic there. We also had a report. It was an accident reported to be in front of Seckman High School, right there on Seckman Road. So there may be some flashing lights there. And we're starting to see the usual volume appear on northbound 270 right at Gravois. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. 646 at 97.1. St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Let's talk flooring for just a minute. You know, I was sitting on our hardwood floor just the other day because I had my granddaughter down there, and she's crawling around playing, and I was just admiring the quality and the workmanship that went into installing that floor. I've never done that. I don't know how they do it. It looks beautiful, and that's all I care about, and that's probably all you care about. Let the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet do the same thing for you that they did for us. I told you we were moving into a new home for us, and we wanted to change the flooring pretty much on the first floor, the living area and the hallways and the bedrooms, and Michael's got it done in time for our furniture to be moved in after the flooring was put in. It was perfect. They worked hard to make that happen. They coordinated it with us, and we appreciate that. I've always had great experiences up there from start to finish, from the education through the installation, and they always follow up afterwards. So you will appreciate that as much as I do. Ask them about their great Mohawk products. If it's in stock, you might get it installed the next day. That's what they promise you at Michael's Flooring Outlet, Old Town St. Peters, West County, off of Olive, and in Garden Prairie as well. Online at igotfloored.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
What do you think that Donald Trump is a fascist who is a threat to democracy?
We just had Kamala Harris admit that she's going to violate federal immigration laws.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. As a business owner, it's your job to anticipate constant market changes. But what do you do in the event of a divorce? Years of hard work building a business are on the line. This is not business as usual. You need an experienced partner you can count on for help. We're Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of our Missouri or Illinois attorneys. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Town and Country, Missouri, 63017. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Missouri's judicial system gives voters the final say in retaining their judges. So know your judges before you vote November 5th. Visit yourmissouriJudges.org. That's yourmissouriJudges.org.
Paid for by the Missouri Bar, Misha Epps, Executive Director.
Do you worry about running out of money in retirement? Discover how you can make your money last as long as you do with Your Retirement Professors. Sunday evening at 6 on KFTK 97.1 FM Talk.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
Nailing it. Marc Cox.
Gosh, it's difficult to look back on the last 15 years doing mornings on Y98 and not get emotional. I mean, I started at this station when I was in my 20s, and like every life event has happened. I got engaged while I was here. I got married. I was a newlywed when I started on the morning show. We have shared so many stories over the years, and you have been so supportive of me that I can never thank you enough.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
Not the way I really wanted to start this morning, but Jen Myers, cherished morning host and longtime music director at Y98, has passed away. Jen dedicated 15 years of her life to bringing warmth, joy, and advocacy to the airwaves. Known for her vibrant personality and relentless compassion, Jen leveraged her voice and energy to champion numerous causes close to her heart. She rallied her listeners to support transformative organizations like Pedal the Cause, St. Louis Children's Hospital, the Allie Hinkle Heart Foundation, and Pink Ribbon Good, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Jen Myers, I got to work with her here for a year and a half, probably, maybe, before her illness took a toll enough that she had to step away. And you have never met a more generous or friendly person in your life. She was, everything you heard on the air was Jen.
Very strong-willed.
Yeah, very sweet, very just, when you were talking to her, it was like there was nobody else in the room with you. And, I mean, I didn't know her as well as a lot of people here at the radio station, but what a great human being. Sue, I know you were really good friends with Jen.
Yep. I sold she and Ryan their first house.
Wow.
I helped them sell it and buy their second house.
Yeah.
And she was just good people.
She was a great friend to so many people, and obviously so many of the listeners at Y98 over the years who got to know her. You know, here's the other thing about her. She lived her life to the fullest, and when she realized the likely outcome of her illness, she didn't give up. She kept fighting right up until the very end, but she stepped away from her duties here. She gave up her job and she left the radio station. I don't know, 18 months ago almost, probably.
Something like that.
And she just decided to live every day with her family.
Yeah.
And they took trips together, and she battled the entire time going through chemo and treatments and all of that. And every time you saw her, she'd post an update with her family with a smile on her face, spending every quality moment she could with her children. We could all learn something from that.
Right.
Thanks for that, Mark. That was well put. And she just was strong-willed. That's what Carl was trying to say.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yes.
always with a smile.
Always.
Yes.
And so she was always up for anything and did it with a smile, no matter what the circumstances.
Yeah, I don't think we could say it any better than that. She could be missed by a lot of people.
Yep.
Just to let you guys know, Y98 will be talking about this around 7:25 this morning. So
yeah,
they're going to have
That's
a nice
good.
little tribute to her.
Good.
Jack Jones, the Grammy-winning crooner, known for the timeless hits and
Oh, he did that song.
He did the
Wow.
Love Boat song.
Okay.
Wow.
He passed away at the age of 86 from a prolonged battle of leukemia. Elon Musk, his wealth has surged $34 billion. He made it in a single day.
Oh, my gosh.
Following Tesla's blockbuster earnings report, which drove the stock up by 22%, marking its best performance since 2013. Musk's net worth now stands at $270.3 billion, widening his lead over Jeff Bezos by $61 billion. Now, while Tesla's stock remains the primary driver of his fortune, his stakes in SpaceX, social media company Platform X, and AI venture XAI also contributed to his financial success.
Yeah, I love how the haters will all say, well, he's, the Twitter stock's gone down in value since he took over and blah, blah, blah. He don't care, folks. I got a message for you. That's not what's driving Elon's wealth, and he's having a ball at the same time.
How many people are so wealthy they can give away $1 million every single day for about 2 weeks?
Yeah.
To someone who's agreeing to sign this pact to support constitutional rights.
And I'll bet you if Kamala Harris was to win for some reason, he'll get prosecuted by the Department of Justice for that. They'll try to claim he was somehow violating election law,
yeah.
even though he's not paying anybody to vote for anything or anyone.
Yeah, you can still vote for Harris.
You can vote for whoever you want.
And still be in the drawing for
He just wants you
$1
to sign up for this
this PAC.
PAC,
But
right.
it just supports constitutional rights.
Yeah,
That's it.
I know.
It's funny to think that his $1 million he's giving away is like $1 of our money.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it'd be like giving
he's just
somebody
like,
a
here's
Here's
$1.
$10.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Lord.
I know.
Morgan Wallen's One Night at a Time World Tour has set a new record as the highest grossing country tour of all time. Originally scheduled to end in October of 2023, Wallen extended the tour to 2024, adding 28 shows across the U.S. and Europe.
I'm glad that he did. Rehab is expensive. He needs to keep working.
He has had some. He has made some mistakes in the past.
He needs
and
to stop drinking.
That would be a good idea.
I just want to pass this along with Thanksgiving on the horizon. Sam's Club is the latest chain announcing its Thanksgiving deals. And this year, members can feed 10 people for under $100. The company announced that the store brand Members Mark will be priced under $100 this year. And the full list includes you're going to get a whole smoked turkey. You'll get dinner rolls, macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, 12-inch pumpkin pie, Brussels sprouts, cranberry crunch salad, don't know what that is, and sweet potatoes. So
I
you
have
can
a
get
hard
all
time.
that for under $100.
I don't know. Not if you have a bunch of men eating.
Well,
I am
you'll run out
stunned.
of food,
I
is
am
what you're
stunned at how much men can eat. Not just my husband, but my son. I'll make a whole meal, and my husband eats it, and then he's like, "All right, I'm ready for like
Dessert.
seconds and thirds." I'm like, "What are you? What? Where are you putting all of this?"
Easton too.
Easton can put some. Yeah, he eats tons. Well, he was eating tons of broccoli, or
He's a
according to
garbage
him, it's
disposal.
Ackley. Ackley.
See, at least he's eating healthy.
There you go.
He does eat pretty healthy at our house. Yeah, lots of Ackley.
Good job,
All
Mom.
right, yeah. All right, coming up, we're going to get to J.J. Carafano here at about 7:20. Lots of pressure on Israel right now to give up because they've killed this Hamas leader. I don't think that's happening. We'll get Jim's thoughts on it. And Denny Hoskins is going to join me. He's running for Secretary of State, and he's got some specific ideas on election integrity.
Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 biggest newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Here's Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith asking you to vote yes on 2.
Back in my day, I was the wizard of the infield. Now, I'm a grandfather. That's why I'm voting yes on Amendment 2. It means over $100 million for Missouri schools and teachers, and no more broken promises. There's a constitutional guarantee that the money goes to our schools, and legalizing sports betting is great for us fans too. That's why the Royals, Chiefs, Blues, and Cardinals all join me in saying yes on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 5-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back 60 years, when a diamond cutter became well known for his exceptional craftsmanship. His diamond cutting business flourished for decades. Then his sons got involved and started selling these exceptional diamonds to upscale jewelry stores here in America. After a few years, these wholesalers decided to change the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices they had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success, and Diamonds Direct was born. Today, Diamonds Direct provides that extraordinary value to people all over America, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best prices, period. Diamonds Direct, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history, rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's up to nearly 30 million Americans who've already voted early. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Look, I'm not supposed to say it, but we are leading by so much.
That's former President Trump in Nevada, though many polls have showed the race against Vice President Harris is close to a tie. He also went to Arizona, saying the U.S. has become a garbage can for the world.
Kamala's migrant invasion, given to us through gross incompetence, disqualifies her from even thinking about being president. We can't let that happen.
Now, the vice president is touting a reduction in illegal immigration after a record surge. Former President Trump will go to Michigan and Texas today. And Fox's Brooke Singman reports Harris will also be in Texas today,
where Beyonce is expected to perform. This after holding a star-studded campaign event in Georgia yesterday, where Bruce Springsteen performed and also called out Trump.
Donald Trump is running to be an American tyrant.
Harris was also joined by former President Barack Obama at the rally, slamming Trump and doubling down on her economic policies.
She got a plan to make your life better. She's going to go after corporations that unfairly jack up prices.
2 American military members are in stable condition after U.S. Central Command says they were injured in Iraq in an operation targeting ISIS, killing 7 terrorists. Israel's on the attack again in Gaza, where Palestinians say an airstrike killed at least 38 people, and in Lebanon, where 3 journalists were killed.
Overnight, Israel struck suburbs in southern Lebanon and says it's dismantled tunnels of Hezbollah's elite forces.
Fox's Matt Finn in Tel Aviv also reports 10 Israeli soldiers have been killed in the past 24 hours. The Menendez brothers, convicted of murdering their parents 35 years ago in Los Angeles, could soon be set free. District Attorney George Gascon is pushing to resentence Lyle and Eric so the Menendezes can be paroled.
I do believe that the brothers were subjected to a tremendous amount of dysfunction in the home.
And molestation, he says. America's listening to Fox News.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
So this new dose is, well, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Good morning. We're starting out this Friday at 64 degrees at 7:03. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis leaders broke ground Thursday on a new $45 million 911 center. This will be the first time fire, police, and EMS here in the city will all be in one building. The city says this will improve response times. They're not so great. Nationally, 90% of 911 calls are answered within 10 seconds. Here in St. Louis, only 75%. Funding for the 911 center comes from the state and money from the American Rescue Plan Act. A former Florissant police officer now facing a third lawsuit from someone claiming he stole nude pictures from a woman's phone during a traffic stop. 4 women so far have come forward with accusations against him. The Missouri Department of Public Safety says the officer has permanently surrendered his peace officer license. New numbers from St. Louis County show more than 18,000 people voted early Thursday. That's up from about the 15,000 on Tuesday when no excuse absentee voting first opened. The director of elections for St. Charles County, Kurt Barr, says he'll be staffing Element Church in Wentzville, one of the polling locations, with more election judges next week following complaints of long lines. It's 7:04 and 64 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. All right, in sports, the Blues beat Toronto 5-1 last night on the road. Tomorrow they'll be in Montreal, then Tuesday in Ottawa. The Blues will wrap up their road trip on Halloween in Philadelphia. Tonight, the Dodgers are hosting the Yankees for Game 1 of the World Series. First pitch is 7:08. 64 degrees now, coming up on 7:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, we've got rain in the area, and it's been moving through from the west this morning. So that, of course, has left us with wet roadways. And we've got an accident reported eastbound 44 before Antire. Watch for that in the right lane. And, boy, traffic is really stacked up behind that. Also jammed this morning is westbound 270, and it's just really jammed. Headed for an accident that's been there for a while in the right lanes near Hanley. So look for some slow-moving traffic that goes almost back to West Florissant. If you are eastbound on 70, well, of course, we have some volume just a little bit past Wentzville as you approach Highway Z. And then just moderate volume Lake St. Louis Boulevard, a little bit at 141, that sort of thing. Eastbound 64, moderate volume out at Prospect. We now have an accident reported on northbound 170 before you get to Clayton Road, and that's created slow-moving traffic back onto westbound 64 and eastbound trying to ramp onto the inner belt. 55 northbound looks pretty good at this hour. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. This report is brought to you by New Perspective Senior Living. New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring offers a state-of-the-art AI detection system, modern apartments, delicious meals. New Perspective of Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour day. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 706 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Any scattered showers, rumbles of thunder will get out of the picture very quickly this morning. Basically, the sun is back for a good portion of the day. Northwest winds slowly taking over, 75 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. It's chilly, 48 for the low. The weekend looks fantastic. Saturday, sunny. It's cooler. It's nice, 65. 43 Saturday night and Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
707, 64 degrees now. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
I want to compliment your show on how fair and level-headed everything you guys talk about.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
Maybe what we need from a conservative standpoint is
the Marc Cox Morning Show.
I respect that. We don't agree. Listen to both sides.
This,
let's get it on,
is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Hey, you're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I'm Mark. Glad you're here with us this morning. Kim St. Ange, Carl Middleman, Susan Thomas in here with you on your Friday morning. A little bit of rain out there. That's kind of odd, isn't it? We haven't had rain in ages.
No, I know.
Yeah, I mean,
at least it's not freezing.
Well, true. At least it's not freezing. That is a good point. But it's going to be in and out of here pretty quickly, apparently, just enough to probably snarl your morning drive just a little bit, and then another gorgeous weekend. You just can't beat that. Use it as an excuse to go vote early. Get that thing banked right now. Let's get these votes banked. I was impressed with the number of people, and of course you have no idea when you're standing in line with somebody to vote how they're going to vote. But there were hundreds of people in line yesterday out in St. Charles County where I voted. I had to wait an hour and 40 minutes, in fact, in that line to get inside and vote and back to my truck.
Wow, see, it was so different. The longest part of the wait process for me yesterday at the St. Peter's location was just the line on 79 to get up to the front. And then once we parked and actually stood outside the election authority, I mean, we were in there and out within probably 30 minutes.
Wow, that's good. I got there. The parking was no problem at that Element Church out there near 40, 64, and 70. But once you got there, the line was wrapped around the end of the building and back into a back parking lot, and it just took a while to get through. Hopefully, as you've reported here, Kurt Barr, the elections director, tells us he's working on increasing staffing, at least at that location. There's nothing he can do about it. Thank you. There's nothing he can do about the traffic problems on Highway 79 because that's a MoDOT issue. They're doing construction, and it's just snarling everything.
Okay, but MoDOT should have known this was an election year. Why could the county have not chosen a different location? I understand that's headquarters, but we knew this was going to cause an issue. And I am so thankful they're adding more election judges, and I'm sure that will speed up the process a little bit. But is there any possibility of moving those additional election judges to, say, a third polling location instead of just adding them to an existing one?
How about the St. Charles Family Arena?
Perfect.
The city,
Let's do that.
County, I should say the county controls it, I believe. I don't know why they couldn't just open that up and let people go out there and vote. But they haven't done that. And if we get any answers on that, we will let you know. Coming up, we're going to talk to Jim Carafano from the Heritage Foundation. Have him on every Friday. Great to get him on here this morning. Denny Hoskins, state senator, who is on the ballot as the Republican candidate for Secretary of State. He will join us at 7:35 to talk about the election and election integrity issues and all of that. Top of the next hour, Senator Josh Hawley will be here. Right now, I want to get to our top stories, though.
The Marc Cox Shortlist.
I find the fact that she just doesn't really articulate to me her true policy position.
Yeah, Katie Couric, how about that? Being a little bit critical of the Kamala. I'm sorry. Did I mispronounce that again? She doesn't think that Kamala is authentic.
I know what it'll be like if we let her in. Miserable track record, no policies to speak of.
And the border, right?
And she's got the IQ of a fence post.
Oh, that was Mel Gibson. I love that. Braveheart pointing out that the current candidate for president for the Democrats has the IQ of a fence post.
I think that clip illustrates exactly why Harris is in trouble at this point. And it's something that I don't understand why the campaign does not address.
Yeah, that is Frank Luntz. Frank Luntz, of course, is the pollster, talking about the fact that whatever Kamala Harris is doing right now, it's not bleeding through to the public, and it's not helping her one iota.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had.
Did you hear that soundbite earlier this week, Kim?
Yes, I did.
So this raises some questions, and I'm going to raise this question to Josh Hawley, our U.S. Senator, when we get him on here in 1 hour. Why that news conference that she held, do you know where it was? It was at the White House. She walked out with either the presidential or vice presidential seal on the podium in front of a white door with the flags on each side at the White House and held a news conference regarding claims by a disgraced former chief of staff for Donald Trump, denied by Donald Trump and all the people surrounding him. This guy's trying to sell a book or something, and he's decided that 5 years later he's finally going to come out and say this 2 weeks before an election, 10 days before an election. So she comes out to announce this groundbreaking news at the White House, which I would argue is a direct violation of the Hatch Act. We hear about it all the time. It was put in place in 1939 to keep employees of the White House and Congress, but specifically the White House and government employees, from taking an active part in political campaigns, engaging in political activity on government property for the nature of getting elected. I don't know how what she did is not a Hatch Act violation. Had she done it at the Naval Observatory, where she lives, it would have been a Hatch Act violation. In fact, Corinne Jean-Pierre goes to great lengths in most of her questions about Joe Biden and Donald Trump to say, we can't address that from here. You'll have to talk to the campaign. You'll have to talk to the campaign. They do that because there's supposed to be a clear separation between campaign activities and holding a federal office. So, Josh Hawley's a constitutional lawyer. I'm going to be interested to hear why this isn't a violation of the Hatch Act for her to do what she did.
I think I didn't even know about that, if I'm being honest, but I think what stood out to me is just how divisive the language was that she used, and just the irony that Obama's saying, I don't know how we know where this division started. Well, it started during your administration, Obama, but then obviously Kamala's fueling that, adding fuel to the fire. But you remember Biden when he did that weird press conference? It was like his first thing when he was saying, did he announce at that point that he wasn't going to be running for re-election or something like that? And he said, we need to tone down the rhetoric because da-da-da-da-da, and then they're right back at it. You know what I'm talking about? He was sitting in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Guess she didn't listen to his advice there.
No, I don't think so. I'm anxious to know. Maybe there's something I don't understand about it, but I don't know why she's allowed to stand up and do that from the White House, is my point. Anyway, we'll ask Senator Hawley coming up here at 8:08 when we get him on the air. He's been in Missouri for the past couple weeks, going up and down the highways in his Josh Hawley for Senate bus, and he's probably got a thing or two to say about target shooting. I don't know why, but I'm sure that's going to come up. We'll be back with JJ Carafano.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, the rain moved in this morning. Pardon me, and that has affected our commute. So if you are traveling on eastbound 70, there is an incident before you get to Highway Z that's created a jam behind it. And once you do get to 64, some moderate volume out at Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and then things open up into downtown. But we had that earlier accident northbound 170, a little north of 64. Now that looks like it's been moved off to the shoulder, but still a little bit of volume in that area. And 70 looks pretty good from the 64 split into downtown. Where we've had a jam for most of the morning is actually on westbound 270. There was an accident there really close to Hanley. They had the right lanes blocked, and we've got a jam that goes back through about West Florissant. And an accident eastbound on 44 just before Antire. Watch for that one in the two right lanes. Just be careful on these wet roads this morning. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 717 at 97.1. St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I know some of you have maybe been wanting to make some changes at your house, but you don't even know where to start. You don't know who to call. Well, here's the first thing that you need to do, and that is to call the experts at Lakeside Renovation and Design, because what they're going to do is they're going to answer any questions you have, and they're going to walk you through the entire process. And I know that from firsthand experience, or I should say from my parents telling me this, because they had questions about this really cool motorized pergola that Lakeside has available. And they just wanted to get some information about it, see what that might cost if they were to put one in their backyard. So Marc from Lakeside had a couple phone conversations with them. He even came over to their house, did measurements, all kinds of things, followed up with them. They said it was an awesome experience. That's the kind of service you get when you partner with this company, Lakeside Renovation and Design. Plus, right now is the perfect time if you've been thinking about any of these projects. They're offering 18 months, no payments, no interest. Plus, they have financing options. So that means that if you want your brand new kitchen, you've been thinking about it for years, or you want your bathroom remodeled, your basement finished, a new deck, you're not paying anything or interest until the summer of 2026. Lakeside also offers top quality siding, roofing, windows, and a whole lot more. If you want to see the quality of work that Lakeside Renovation and Design does, just go check out their Instagram and Facebook. They're always posting these really cool pictures, including one I think they posted yesterday of this really beautiful kitchen renovation. 636-978-5000, the number to call, or check them out online at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com.
The minds and voices that shape America.
This is Brian Kilmeade here on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
You know what I think the theme is? Keep it here.
Stream it on the Odyssey app.
97.1 FM Talk St. Louis.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
Boom goes the dynamite. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Peace up, A-Town. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Since October 7th a year ago, Israel has achieved most of its strategic objectives when it comes to Gaza. All with the idea of making sure that October 7th could never happen again. Now is the time to turn those successes into an enduring strategic success.
You know, I was born in the South Bronx.
Jim Carafano on the phone with us this morning. Jim, I didn't remember when Anthony Blinken got elected Prime Minister of Israel, but apparently thinks he is.
He's a total yahoo. Here's the problem for Israel. There's no question that the Israelis are only interested in one thing, to defend the state of Israel. Hamas wanted to destroy the state of Israel. Hezbollah wanted to destroy the state of Israel. They've now dealt an absolutely devastating blow to Hamas, and they're well on their way to crippling Hezbollah's offensive capability.
Yeah.
But that's just buying time, because the Iranians will put those guys eventually back in the game. The only thing that changes the situation for the long term is if Iran is constrained. And we just literally don't have an American policy that's doing that. So it'd be like the captain of the Titanic dodging an iceberg, but, you know, he's just going to hit another iceberg if we don't do something different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know why the American people can't see that. I've asked that question all the time when I have people on here who are Jewish by faith. I mean, because the Jewish population in the United States overwhelmingly votes a Democrat, and I look at this and I'm like, why would you think we should stop them when they're on the verge of their greatest success? Why would they stop now?
Yeah, I think, you know, look, for most American voters, look, we are a two-party country, you know, and we have one party that is basically conservative. We have another party that's basically progressive. Well, here's your problem if you are a single-issue voter. You could be 1090 with the party you're voting for, right? You could be voting for them on a issue, but on the other 90% of the issues, they're not with you. And I think, and look, I'm not Jewish, I get that, but I think this is the problem with American Jews is if you sit down and you go through the numbers of the liberal party that you've been traditionally associated with and the conservative party, in the end, when you add them up, who has more in common with you? And I would argue generally it's conservatives. And I think this is why this is a struggle for Jewish voters, because they love, but on this key issue, the party that they're associated with is not with them at all.
Yeah.
I wanted to switch gears here for a second and get your reaction to news that 3,000 North Korean troops have now deployed to Russia.
Look, I think it just shows the absolute desperation of the Russians. I think it remains to be seen if they make a real significant operational difference on the battlefield. I will say that this actually is a declaration of war. North Korea has essentially just declared war on Ukraine. And, there's a difference between providing material support, which lots of people do in lots of situations, and actually taking active participation in combat. The interesting thing was during the Korean War, the Russians actually flew combat missions against the Americans. They just pretended they weren't there.
Right.
But for the North Koreans to be openly sending troops to Ukraine is essentially a declaration of war against Ukraine, which I'm not sure is the smartest thing that's going to happen. Look, I think if Donald Trump wins the election, he will want his instincts would be to go back to Kim and say, okay, let's pick up where we left off and start talking about the denuclearization of North Korea. Kim is digging himself a really deep hole. He's making it a lot harder for Trump to come back. And so I'm not sure what the calculations are in North Korea, but if there's a book that says not smart, just mark them down on that side.
But now, didn't the South Koreans say they may pitch in and help Ukraine?
Right. Yeah, it's look, I've said that. I know I've said this on your show before. I'm not always right. People say, well, what are the Russians going to do? And sometimes I'm wrong. And the reason, usually when I'm wrong, it's because I take the stupid, ridiculous, dumb options and say, well, don't do that, right? But sometimes they do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it sounds scary times for sure. Jim, have a great weekend, my friend. Always love having you on Fridays. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. You're the best.
You bet.
You are the best.
You are the best
voice in the radio universe. There you go, right there.
We'll talk soon. Jim Carafano there from the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org, if you want to go there and check him out. Yeah, I continue to be surprised by that. When I don't know why. At some point, I need to stop being surprised. But I just can't help myself when I see these continued statements by Anthony Blinken speaking on behalf of the Harris-Biden administration, telling Israel, we know what's in your best interest better than you do, when that's not the case. We're not surrounded by people trying to kill us, generally speaking. Let Israel do what they need to do. To Hezbollah, to Hamas, they're surrounded by terrorists who want to wipe them off the face of the earth. We need to keep our nose out of it and keep giving them all the support we can. Coming up, Senator Denny Hoskins is running for Secretary of State, and he's got some specific changes he'd like to make to how we vote once he gets elected. We're going to talk to him right after the break.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Missouri's Amendment 3 is cleverly worded to convince you that it only allows abortions until fetal viability. But it has loopholes that allow for abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. Abortion proponents used to say safe, legal, and rare. But now they want abortion as common as the morning after pill. Plus, minor-age children will have access to sex change surgeries without parental consent. Vote no on Amendment 3.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John B. Royal Treasurer.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Any scattered showers, rumbles of thunder will get out of the picture very quickly this morning. Basically, the sun is back for a good portion of the day. Northwest winds slowly taking over, 75 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. It's chilly, 48 for the low. The weekend looks fantastic. Saturday, sunny. It's cooler. It's nice, 65. 43 Saturday night, and Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
7:30 and 64 degrees now on this Friday. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. Victims of the Central Visual Performing Arts School shooting were remembered Thursday at a vigil to mark the second anniversary. Students at CVPA were then given the day off in remembrance of that tragedy. Today, therapy dogs will be at school. A teacher and student were killed in the 2022 shooting. Police shot and killed the gunman. Money from the RAM settlement will be used to address climate change in St. Louis County. The Department of Planning will be in charge of that effort. County Executive Sam Page, who signed the bill Thursday, says the goal is to help the county be more resistant to extreme weather. The actions that group will take to meet that goal have not been announced. In sports, the Blues beat Toronto 5-1 last night on the road. Tomorrow, they'll be in Montreal. Tuesday in Ottawa. The Blues will wrap up the road trip on Halloween in Philadelphia. Tonight, the Dodgers host the Yankees for Game 1 of the World Series. First pitch is 7:08. I'm Kim St. Ange. Time now 7:31 and 64 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Accident eastbound 70 past Wentzville Parkway, and that's been there. They've been dealing with this for a while, but they closed eastbound 70 not too long ago to try to get this completely cleared. And we have a parking lot jam that's not quite back to Forestel, but headed in that direction. If you are eastbound on 70, that is the cause of the delay. Boy, the wet roads were not helping us this morning. There was also an accident westbound 270, really close to Hanley this morning, and they've been working on that for quite some time. The right lanes have been blocked there, and traffic is jammed behind it, back to at least West Florissant. And they've moved it mostly off to the right, but a right lane is still blocked and an exit ramp. It's just kind of a mess through there this morning. Wet roadways, of course, not helping that either. And an accident eastbound 44 before you get to Antire. They've had the right lanes blocked here. I've been looking at the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. The jam there goes back through 109. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 732 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
If you go to WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com, you can click on a video tour of the building out there, and you'll see some of what I'm talking about, but you really need to go in person. You need to go pay a visit, because if you're going to help a loved one secure senior living, you need to see it for yourself. You need to make sure it passes the smell test. You need to go out there, and what's going to happen is you're going to be so impressed you might want to move in yourself. It's like a resort. The chandeliers and the beautiful oak tables in the library, and the gazebo outside where people can enjoy nice weather when it's warm. And it's one story, so there are no stairs or elevators, big spacious rooms, always assistance available if someone's in need of it or not. You can basically live independently there if you want, but have access to a spa and a movie theater down the hall if you need it. They take outings. It's a very active lifestyle. So call them up, tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it, and you want to set up a tour at Wentzville, at Hampton Manor at Wentzville. It's at the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. Again, the website is WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
You can help those affected by this disastrous hurricane season by visiting redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. Message and data rates apply. Together, we can help those who've been affected. Thanks for helping. Conservatives care on 97.1 FM Talk.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, and now is the time to do something about it. With Neovitin Women's Multivitamin, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Created by a St. Louis physician, Neovitin Women's Multivitamin is formulated with our proprietary blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Best of all, you can get Neovitin Women's Multivitamin delivered right to your door with our convenient monthly subscription. Go to neovitin.com and sign up for a subscription today.
And now, back to business on the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Yeah, just 9 days left till Election Day. 971talk.com has got all the information you need on that. And, of course, it's got my voter guide that you can download. And it's got the major statewide offices covered. Obviously, President, obviously the Senate race with Josh Hawley, and, of course, a couple of state Senate seats that are going to be key to Republicans holding the supermajority down in Jeff City. I mean, not that did us a lot of good with initiative petition reform. We had senators down there who had their parking spaces taken away and were threatened to have their furniture taken away if they didn't toe the line, right, with Senate leadership. So that's just kind of where we've been on this whole thing, and it's sad, but their ability to influence what goes on in Jeff City is super. Think about that for a minute, Kim. They have a super majority, which means no matter who the governor is, they can pass things and override a gubernatorial veto if that's what happens. I mean, not that I think Mike Parson or Mike Kehoe is likely to do that. But they could, at the end of the day, do those things. And that is why it's so important that we pay attention to the names that are on my list as you go down through there. And I just thought I'd go back over those with those for just a moment. And we're going to get to our guest here coming up. So go to the voter guide. You can see who my picks are, and it will make the whole thing a lot easier for you. You can print it off, whatever the case may be. Now, if you go down through there and you look under Secretary of State, you're going to see Senator Denny Hoskins' name, and we've got him on the phone this morning. Senator, welcome back. How are you?
Great. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for giving me a minute this morning, and thanks for putting your name out there and being at the top of the ticket.
Well, thank you, and thank to all the listeners out there who came through and voted for me this past August. I mean, it was truly a grassroots effort.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it takes a lot of work to. Did you know what you were in for when you were running for statewide office? That is a lot of traveling, isn't it?
It is a lot of travel. I've always said, hey, Missouri is definitely a big state, but I said there's no city too big or town too small. And between January and the end of July of this year, we went to about 150 events all across the state. So we really just outworked everyone and went around and met folks and got the message out about election integrity and what I want to do as Secretary of State.
Yeah. Before we get into that, I was just saying there off the top that there are a couple of key Senate races this year. I think District 15 here, replacing Andrew Koenig, is going to be one of them, that if the Republicans were to lose one of those seats, they would lose their supermajority in Jeff City. I mean, there's a lot on the line here.
That's right. There is a lot on the line there. And I know that, there's two places that we're watching over there, the Schnelting race and the Gregory race. And so we want to make sure that they get elected. We need, they're both very conservative, and we need conservatives in the Missouri legislature. Unfortunately now, sometimes because people have R behind their name, that doesn't necessarily mean Republican. It could mean Rhino, but these guys are definitely conservatives, and we want them in the Missouri State Senate.
Yeah. I'm sure you've given a lot of thought to what you might do. I don't know if you'd do anything differently than what Jay Ashcroft has done as Secretary of State. I went and voted yesterday, and in St. Charles County, they've only got 2 early voting locations. I wanted to make sure my vote was banked, and I had to stand in line for an hour and 45 minutes to vote yesterday. That's how big the turnout was. And, in my opinion, Kurt Barr probably should have had more locations open, but he didn't. And that's the situation on the ground here.
Right. It seems like no matter where you look, people are excited. People are excited to get out and vote. I think everybody's ready for November 5th to be here and kind of in the election to be done, whether you're Republican or Democrat. But yes, I encourage everybody to go out and vote. You just never know what may happen on November 5th, whether you're sick or have a death in the family or there's a storm or flood and things like that. So, originally, I've always said that I do believe the most secure elections are in person on Election Day, but we're going to play by the rules that we have right now, and no excuse absentee voting has opened up. And so I encourage everyone to go out there and vote now.
Yeah, I hope they do. Assuming you're elected, which I do believe that you will be, what would you like to do differently than what Jay Ashcroft has done in terms of maybe election integrity and security in the state?
Well, I know some of the things that I said I wanted to be focused on is what I call my contract with Missourians. And the first part of that contract is election integrity. We just saw where Texas audited their voter rolls, and they found 1 million ineligible voters on the voter rolls, including 6,500 non-citizens. Virginia just did an audit of their voter rolls. They found 6,000 non-citizens on their voter rolls. Even a blue state like Oregon, when they just did a audit of their voter rolls, they found 1,500 non-citizens. And in fact, Ohio just came through with a lawsuit where they're suing 6 non-citizens for voting in past elections. So one of the first things that I want to do is lead a robust audit of the voter rolls here in the state of Missouri to make sure that only eligible voters vote here in the state. We've done some things good in the past several years, where in 2022 we said, hey, we're going to require photo ID. I know my Democrat opponent voted against that bill and does not believe that you should have to show a photo ID to vote. But that's one of the first things I want to do is make sure that we clean up our voter rolls and only eligible voters are on our voter rolls.
Are those audits not done routinely anytime there's an election? It seems like every state should be doing those.
Yes. And a lot of it, goes whether to the county clerks and how exactly that is done. We got out of ERIC, which I agree, but I think that we could really put more of a focus on our voter rolls and make sure that we don't have any deceased voters on the voter rolls. We don't have any non-citizens on the voter rolls. And, over there on the east part of the state, obviously you have people that probably move back and forth between Illinois and Missouri. Just like on the west part of the state, we have people that move back and forth between Overland Park, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. And so looking at those change of address forms, I know in some of the other states, when I've had conversations with them as far as their Secretary of States, they've been trying to get the list of illegal aliens and verify that, hey, there's no non-citizens, there's no illegal aliens on our voter rolls. So I think it's something that I think a lot of them are doing, but I think we need more of a robust process in order to do that.
Yeah. Senator, I brought this up to Secretary Ashcroft on more than one occasion. Obviously, it would require legislation to get it through. But federally, when an employer is going to hire someone, they have to go through E-Verify to make sure that person is eligible to work in the United States. Wouldn't it be so easy to apply that to voter registration?
Yeah, most certainly. In the state of Arizona, backtrack a little bit. Right now in the state of Missouri, if you want to vote, you just can get on the Secretary of State's website or go to the county clerk. This is federal law. You just check a box that says you're a U.S. citizen. Boom, you're registered to vote. You don't have to provide any verification that you're a U.S. citizen. The state of Arizona just came through with a state law that said for state and local elections, you have to register to vote, you have to show proof of citizenship.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something Missouri should definitely look at to make sure that, hey, instead of just checking a box that says you're a U.S. citizen, where we've seen in other states, I'm sure there are U.S. citizens that have either registered to vote here in Missouri, either on purpose or by accident. But I think we need to look at laws and legislation that would require proof of citizenship in order to register to vote here in the state of Missouri.
Yeah. Are you? I assume you're a yes on Amendment 7, the citizens only voting.
Oh yes,
yeah,
most certainly, yes. I'm definitely yes on Amendment 7. I encourage all the listeners out there to vote yes on Amendment 7. Amendment 7 would ban ranked choice voting, and then also change our Constitution, because right now our Constitution, Article 8, Section 2 says all citizens can vote. And a state like California that has very similar language to what we have, they're letting non-citizens vote in some local and state elections. So Amendment 7, the other thing it would do, it would change the word all to only. So it would say only citizens can vote. And I think that's very important that we make that clarification in our state constitution.
I would agree completely. Important next 9 days. What's it look like for you?
It's going to be busy. That's one thing for sure. I know, we're going to be traveling across the state. I think I'm going to be in, St. Louis, I think on Monday, and then Sedalia on Tuesday, and then we're traveling all across the state. I know some of the statewide, we're trying to get our plan together to meet up and go around the state and visit, Southeast Missouri, Southwest Missouri, Northeast Missouri, the Kansas City area, Mid-Missouri. And so it's going to be a whirlwind tour, that's for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, best of luck to you. You've got my vote. And Senator Hoskins, we'll talk to you soon after maybe we can say Secretary of State-elect Hoskins. How about that?
I hope so. Thanks for listening.
You bet. We'll talk soon. That is Senator Denny Hoskins, who is a Missouri senator running for Secretary of State. If you haven't voted yet, download the voter guide. You'll see his name on there. I have endorsed him and plan on voting for him. Kim, what are we whimming about today?
I think it's pretty common these days for people to feel lonely, right? And so a St. Louis man is trying to capitalize on that. He's developed this app where you can actually pay somebody to keep you or your loved one company. I'll explain.
Oh, my goodness. We'll be back in just a minute.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, on the roads this morning, we've had some rain, which of course is never good news in my department, at least as far as the roads go. Now, we've got some volume on northbound 55. It's just right around Bayless in the usual area. Northbound 270, moderate volume at Gravois and again at Geordie Ferry. But there was an accident out west, and this was eastbound 70 before you even get to Wentzville Parkway. And they at one point had to shut down the entire eastbound lanes to try to get this cleared. We have a jam that goes back through Forestdale. Now, east of there, things aren't bad into downtown. Eastbound 64 isn't that bad. Little bit of moderate volume at Timberlake Manor and at Ballas. Westbound is slowing right at Hampton. And the accident up north, this one was westbound 270. Really close to Hanley. They took it from the right lanes and moved it as far to the right as they could, but we still have a right lane blocked and a ramp blocked, and we still have a jam behind it. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 748 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Sponsored by Ulta Beauty.
We've brought the Emerald City to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from R.E.M. Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Hey, I have to tell you, we have our ATF raffle for Responder Rescue coming up next month. One of the raffle items, one in the basket of booze, will be a great bottle of the cask strength bourbon from Old Dominick, donated by my friends over at Lit Cigar Lounge. That's going to be one of the many bourbons in the basket. In the meantime, you can get your hands on it right now. I love Old Dominick. This is a family-run distillery down in Memphis, Tennessee. And it really is. I mean, they distill it there, they mash it, they barrel age it, they bottle it right in one place. You can take a tour if you're ever down there. You're going to love what they're doing. The cask strength is just that. It's got a lot of strength. It's a strong glass, but you're going to love drinking it. The flavor's amazing. Their straight bourbon is at 90 proof. It is great. It's got the sweetness, a bit of rye spice, ends with that long, smooth finish, very reasonably priced. You want to go out and get a bottle of this Old Dominick for this weekend. Maybe try their bonded Tennessee whiskey. It will change your image of what Tennessee whiskey should taste like. I can promise you that. The wine and cheese place, Friar Tuck, Randall's, I believe Schnucks and Deerbergs both carry it. If not, thanks to our friends at Lore Wine and Spirits, just ask for it by name. They'll be glad to make sure it gets in your favorite store. It is Old Dominick.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
What do you think that Donald Trump is a fascist who is a threat to democracy?
We just had Kamala Harris admit that she's going to violate federal immigration laws.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much, but the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
St. Louis City 2 is in the MLS Next Pro postseason. Join us Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park as City 2 battles it out in the Western Conference semifinals. Tickets only $13 with player meet and greets, free games, face painting, and more. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com. Sunday, October 27th at 4 p.m. at City Park. Don't miss out on the action and be there as we cheer our team to the finals. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com.
If you have hunting property in the state of Missouri, listen up. I want to introduce you to Missouri Brush Control. If you're frustrated with thick brush and limited visibility, Missouri Brush Control can open that up for you. They can come in with their forestry mulching machines and create shooting lanes for you, enhancing your hunting environment and attracting game like never before. Enjoy your hunting property the way you've always dreamed of. To see what I mean, go to their website and check out their gallery of before and after projects. That's MissouriBrushControl.com. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to Missouri Brush Control.
Miss a morning and you'll miss a lot. The Marc Cox Morning Show. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
Have you ever felt lonely? Because I think at some time or another, all of us can relate to that, the feeling of loneliness. Well, now I have the perfect solution for you. Introducing the Perfect Companion app. St. Louis guy comes up with this idea, went through a divorce, I guess it was within the last year, says he was just feeling lonely, lost his dad, which just made it even harder. Said he tried all these dating apps, but it just wasn't finding what he was looking for. And he said he noticed one issue in particular with these dating apps that he wanted to try to address with this new app.
And so the one thing to me that I found alarming is that all dating apps out there, they don't have any real way of vetting these people, right? It's just, hey, sign up. You have no idea what that person's background is, if that person's safe to go out with. And so that was the one thing I wanted to do, is I wanted to develop an app that could really help people that are alone or isolated, or maybe they're just socially awkward and they need to be able to kind of develop them skills. and not feel judged.
So here's what they're going to do to address that. They're going to do federal background checks on any of these users of this Perfect Companion app throughout the year. It's not just a single, you've done a background check, you passed, you can join. It's going to be subscription based, and essentially, so let's say I'm saying, well, I'm lonely, I want a companion. So I would pay the subscription, but then the people who are willing to be those companions, they also have to pay for a subscription to cover the cost of the background check.
Isn't this called OnlyFans?
Well, this guy is saying it's designed to be platonic, that let's say, your mom is feeling lonely and she wants someone to play checkers with her on the weekend. And so you would find somebody through this app. It's supposed to be, again, platonic. That's the idea. Who's had a background check. And she would pay that person to come play checkers with her. The guy's like, well, obviously I can't prevent it from becoming more than that. And I'm sure in some cases it would. But he said it's not created for that reason. There's a launch party actually happening tonight at Dogwood Social in Ellisville, 7 to 9.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to him. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's hard to imagine doing that unless you've found yourself in that situation. I guess I'm fortunate to say I've never been so lonely that I felt like I needed to do something like that.
I can't say I've ever been that lonely where I would want to do this. But I do feel like ever since COVID, there are a lot of lonely people. They just isolated themselves, in part because the government tried to force us to, but then they just kind of stayed that way. And people are waiting or choosing not to get married. And I don't know. I mean, there's a number of reasons why someone might feel like that. What they're doing, though, is they're saying instead of just making it where it becomes transactional and these people who are signing up to be companions aren't just doing it to get the money. They also have a rating system, kind of like Uber, right? Or like if you buy something off Facebook Marketplace, like your fake dinosaur tooth that you bought, you can rate the person who is your companion. And that way, if they get a terrible rating, it will red flag them.
I'm giving that guy a high rating because he gave me a letter of authenticity.
Yeah,
this
Marc.
is what I'm telling you. And that's the thing. This guy's business could shoot through the roof after the election, depending on the outcome, right? All those lonely Democrats, if Trump wins, they're gonna need friends. They might have to buy them.
No, they're gonna go to the streets and riot. If Donald Trump wins, it's gonna be chaos. No matter what happens, folks, it's gonna be chaos. I think
you may be right. There's so much going on. Political candidates, wounding reporters. Oh, by the way, we're gonna speak to Josh Hawley when we come back right at the top of the hour. We'll ask him about that specific incident with Lucas Kuntz. We'll be back in just a minute.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
She learned the value of hard work and responsibility at her family's small business at an early age. Ann Wagner took those same hard-working Missouri values to Washington. She's made it her job to keep the radical left from harming your job. Today, in the midst of Joe Biden's out-of-control inflation, Ann Wagner protects us by working to lower costs for families. As a mother of 3, she understands the work and has done it to keep your home and community safe. That's why Ann Wagner fought to secure our border and stop traffickers from smuggling fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our communities, and why she gave law enforcement the tools they need to defend us. And Ann Wagner took a stand against the defund the police radicals who will leave us in harm's way. She'll always back our brave law enforcement officers, putting conservative values to work for us. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is not considered a toss-up state. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but the road to the White House runs through Texas today. Former President Trump and Vice President Harris will go there. Fox's Brooke Singman reports.
Trump will sit for an interview with podcasting giant Joe Rogan at Rogan's studio in Austin, Texas. He's also expected to take part in campaign events in Texas and Michigan. The Harris campaign saying the vice president will not be doing Rogan's podcast because of scheduling conflicts.
Well, instead, the vice president will be in Houston today with Beyonce taking the stage with her. The day after Bruce Springsteen and former President Obama joined her at a Georgia rally.
She's running to be the 47th president of the United States. Donald Trump is running to be an American tyrant.
We do not need 4 years of a wannabe king, a wannabe dictator running around trying to punish his enemies.
Now, the former president rallied in Las Vegas last night.
This election is a choice between whether we will have 4 more years of incompetence, failure, and disaster, or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country.
Now in Arizona, former President Trump again blamed Vice President Harris for record illegal immigration and migrant crime.
We're like a garbage can for the world. That's what's happened. That's what's happened.
More than 30 million Americans have already voted early. Delaware, the latest state to allow that in person starting today. Rockets and missiles keep flying in and out of Lebanon, where 3 journalists were killed as Israel attacks Hezbollah militants who've killed 10 Israeli soldiers in the last 24 hours. McDonald's says it was onions on top of quarter pounders that made about 50 people sick in 10 states. 1 died. McDonald's says they came from Taylor Farms in California. Now, in some areas,
McDonald's has temporarily stopped making quarter pounders. Several other fast food chains, including Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, and Burger King, have pulled onions from some of their menu items as well.
That's Fox's Jack Callahan. America's listening to Fox News.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Good morning. Welcome into Friday. 64 degrees at 8:03. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis leaders broke ground Thursday on a new $45 million 911 center. This will be the first time fire, police, and EMS will all be in one building in the city. The city says this will improve response times. Those have been a problem. Nationally, 90% of 911 calls are answered within 10 seconds. Here in St. Louis, only about 75%. Funding for that 911 center comes from the state and money from the American Rescue Plan Act. A former Florissant police officer is now facing a third lawsuit from a woman claiming he stole nude pictures from her phone during a traffic stop. 4 women have come forward so far with those types of accusations against him. The Missouri Department of Public Safety says that officer has permanently surrendered his peace officer license. New numbers from St. Louis County show more than 18,000 people voted early Thursday. That's up from the 15,000 or so who cast ballots Tuesday when no excuse absent voting first opened. The director of elections for St. Charles County, Kurt Barr, says he'll be staffing Element Church in Wentzville, which is one of 2 polling locations there. That'll have more election judges starting next week following complaints of long lines. It's 8:04 and 64 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, the Blues beat Toronto 5-1 last night on the road. Tomorrow, Blues will be in Montreal, Tuesday in Ottawa, and then the Blues will wrap up the road trip on Halloween in Philadelphia. Tonight, the Dodgers are hosting the Yankees for Game 1 of the World Series. First pitch is 7:08. Tomorrow, Mizzou plays Alabama at 2:30, and at this point, it is still not clear if Brady Cook will even be playing following his ankle injury. Also at 2:30 tomorrow, Illinois takes on Oregon. 64 degrees now at 8:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good news in traffic. Crews have cleared that accident eastbound 70 before you get to Highway Z. At least it's on the shoulder. That's according to MoDOT, and hopefully that will thin out fairly quickly. Now, westbound 270, we've had a jam through North County really for most of the morning, and it was all due to an accident at Hanley. Well, they moved that off to the shoulder. They have the ramp blocked for a really long time. Oh, they just moved the camera on me, so I'm not going to be able to see. But there is still a slow go up there. Even if they've reopened that ramp to Hanley, it's going to take a minute for that all to unwind. Watch out on these wet roads. I mean, Friday we generally have lighter volume, but you can still, we're not used to rain anymore. Westbound 64, a little bit slow there, headed for Hanley, and northbound 270, slow approaching 44. If you're headed in from Illinois, we're fine on the bridges downtown, but westbound 5570, slow in the construction zone at 159. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 8:06 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Any scattered showers, rumbles of thunder will get out of the picture very quickly this morning. Basically, the sun is back for a good portion of the day. Northwest winds slowly taking over, 75 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. It's chilly, 48 for the low. The weekend looks fantastic. Saturday, sunny. It's cooler. It's nice, 65. 43 Saturday night and Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, right now it is 64 degrees as we come up on 8:07. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides. The bottom line is, I respect that. We don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice. Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
Tool, and so you have to put in as many safety precautions as you can, and then you have to have precautions for say anything happens, and so first aid kits, things like that, and a little piece of frag bounced back and nicked somebody's arm, and we were able to treat it.
Yeah, that is a weapons expert and Senate candidate Lucas Kuntz there talking about the incident this week where a reporter was wounded during their Second Amendment demonstration at a farm somewhere north of Kansas City. It would probably be an understatement to say that Senator Josh Hawley's been having just a little bit of fun with that. And we've got Senator Hawley on the line with us right now. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I mean, I don't want to get you triggered here or anything, but Luke,
How many puns can we use?
Lucas Kuntz really stepped in it this week.
I said that I know that the guy needed a shot in the arm, but this is really taking it a little far, I think. I mean, look, can you imagine? Have you ever heard of a Senate candidate so desperate for attention that he will shoot a reporter? I mean, it is unbelievable. But when you look at the fake range that they set up, he talks about, I was at a range. He wasn't at a range. He was in some guy's backyard, and he sets this stuff up. And, Mark, he's shooting an AR at a steel target 10 yards away, and he's got reporters standing downrange. I mean, really, we joke because the reporter, thankfully, was not seriously hurt, but he could have been killed. I mean, that shrapnel could have absolutely embedded him in his neck. And listen, was tannerite, which is an explosive, sitting on the tables, also downrange. I mean, it is unbelievable. This guy, I do not believe in gun control, but I'm starting to think that, maybe we ought to have a red flag law just for Lucas Kuntz. I mean, maybe the guy really should not be around firearms.
I mean, no doubt this is going to come up at the debate you have scheduled for next week. It's actually on Halloween. And gosh, I want to watch this, but I'm wondering, how come you guys picked Halloween of all nights?
And even funnier now, I mean, given the circumstances, that's actually, I didn't pick the date. That's actually the date that the TV stations can do it. But, listen, I'm looking forward to it. I've debated him once already, which that went. Here's how well it went. After the debate, he sent out a press release complaining that I had showed up. So it was not a very good evening for him when we debated last. I'm looking forward to it. But listen, in all seriousness, this election is really, really simple. The question is, do you like the direction the country's going? I mean, do you want to double down on Kamala Harris? Because that's what Kuntz wants to do. He's in favor of every policy that she supports, from open borders to destroying American energy, giving us this runaway inflation, Medicare for illegals. So if you like that stuff, Kuntz is your guy. But I tell you, as I travel the state, people are desperate for a change.
Yeah, and oddly, in a general election year, he doesn't mention the leading candidate for his party.
Well, in fact, he won't even tell us who he's voting for. I mean, this is hilarious, Mark, when you think about it. Here's a guy in Kuntz who has called Trump a criminal, has called him an enemy of the people, has called for him to be locked up, but now won't say if he's going to vote for Kamala, and also has tried to mention Trump in some of his ads. Yeah. I mean, he wants to be a senator and represent the state of Missouri, but he can't even level with us about who he's voting for. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's pathetic. And you can be sure that that'll come up next week.
Yeah. Senator Josh Hawley, our guest, I wanted to play something that happened this week and get your reaction to it.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had.
Democrats have been accusing Republicans. I think they accused Paul Ryan, of all people, of this years ago. It's their go-to when they're losing an election. My bigger issue is she did that in front of the White House. Why isn't that a Hatch Act violation?
Well, and tell you what, the other thing I would say about that is Donald Trump has been shot at twice now. There have been 2 assassination attempts on his life. And, of course, we all saw the one in which he was literally shot. A innocent American and great American was killed at that rally. And that the Democrats persist in this rhetoric that is clearly inflaming the wackos on their side who actually believe Trump is Hitler and want to go out and kill him. It is grossly irresponsible of Kamala Harris to do this. It tells you how desperate she is. She ought to immediately apologize to the nation. I mean, she apologized to Trump, of course, but to the nation for this kind of gross negligence. And all I can say is, as somebody who said whistleblowers from the Secret Service and others come forward to him, I have seen the conditions here on the ground. President Trump, I believe, still not safe. I don't think that he's getting the protection he needs. And for her in this environment to go out and to encourage effectively further violence, which is what this rhetoric does, boy, it is wrong.
Yeah, well, Hillary Clinton's been doing the exact same thing. Also, Senator, she has been discussing ending the filibuster. I mean, once again, an attempt to dominate or take over the United States Supreme Court, among other things.
Oh, this is somebody, in Kamala Harris, you've got somebody who will destroy any institution that she can't control. And that's exactly what they want to do with the Supreme Court. And by the way, Lucas Coons here in Missouri is 100% for that. He also wants to abolish the filibuster and pack the court. So these are people who, we don't like the Supreme Court. Let's just destroy it. Let's add 6 justices, 10 justices. Let's just make it our little plaything, destroy the independence of the judiciary. They'll do that with every institution that they cannot co-opt or coerce or control. And, Mark, it's dangerous. I mean, this kind of stuff, we laugh about it and joke about it, but when you start calling Trump Hitler and encouraging violence, which is really what their rhetoric does, when you start talking about destroying our institutions and that our Constitution prescribes, like the Supreme Court, that is dangerous stuff. These people cannot be allowed to continue in power. This is why we've got to make a change here in 11 days.
Yeah. Senator, I would say that the Democratic Party that's been spending millions to try to defeat you must be feeling like they wasted a lot of money this week.
Well, you might say they shot themselves in the foot, but I tell you what, we're not taking anything for granted, though. We're all over the state. We've been on a bus tour going everywhere, Mark. We're going to continue to reach out to every single voter. And listen, we've got 11 days to go here. And once again, I think the question is, do you want to change the direction of this country? Or do we want to double down on the failed policies of Kamala and Kuntz? That is the key question. I think I know how Missourians are going to answer it. We've got 11 days to go.
Hey, and smart move. Props to you for getting Harrison Butker, because that was his first political endorsement, right?
Well, it was, and it's such an honor for me. I mean, Harrison Butker is such a man of integrity, such a man of conviction. You could see it the way that the left attacked him for his conservative beliefs, his religious beliefs. He did not back down in the face of that, and to have his endorsement, we were able to campaign together all over the state. Boy, that's just awesome.
And I know your new campaign slogan for the next 9 days, Senator Josh Hawley, keeping reporters safe.
I've said I will provide protective gear, safety vests, protective eyewear for every reporter out there. Safety first, Mark. I mean, I don't want anybody else getting hurt. If you're going anywhere near Lucas Kuntz, for heaven's sake, wear a safety vest.
Be careful. All right. Senator Josh Hawley, thank you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks so much.
All right. I appreciate that. Great to get him on here this morning, and glad that we can have thank God nobody was killed, so we can joke about what happened, but it was a very serious issue. The Post-Dispatch covered it pretty fairly, actually, and even went and interviewed our friend Phil Balsamo, Carl, from the Range St. Louis
Hi,
West,
Phil.
the training manager, who said in this article in the Post, we shouldn't, you should never shoot an AR-15 at a target less than 75 yards away if it's a metal target, and a clear violation of that on the farm there north of Kansas City. All right. Quick break here. We're going to be back. We're going to talk a little bit more about Amendment 3. There is a convoy that's been planned to raise awareness about this around the area. We're going to get to that right after this.
Follow the show on Facebook, facebook.com/The Marc Cox Show. A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
On the roads, we are looking better. Quiet now through North County. They got that accident cleared at Hanley. Eastbound 70, 6440, and eastbound 44 look pretty good into downtown. Now 70 still has a little bit of a slow go at Wentzville, but it's much better than it was. Northbound 55 looking good. Little bit slow at Highway Z this morning, but to the north of there, we're fine. There was an accident reported northbound on Highway 30 this morning, past Northwest High School, and we've got a report that they have lanes closed. This is as you head toward Highway Double M. So if you are northbound on Highway 30 this morning, just past the Cedar Hill area, there is definitely a delay. Now, if you're headed in from Illinois, we look fine on the bridges downtown, but westbound 5570 is slowing at 159 in the construction zone. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 817 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
All right, let's take a few minutes and talk about the cold weather that's coming. It's going to be in the 40s tonight, I think. I know we're not completely out of the heat yet, but you need to think about how you're going to keep yourself warm over the winter. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation is the answer. Whatever the question is, that's the answer. If you need service, they're there for you 7 days a week. They're going to take care of that. If you need a new system, let me tell you what they got going. Carrier Cool Cash through November 23rd. So you've still got about a month left. Take advantage of this. Get that installation scheduled. If you get one of the highest efficiency furnaces that they have, the HVAC equipment, you could get up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates, right? Plus, on top of that, the utilities are going to give you rebates. And on top of that, you're going to get maybe a couple $1,000s in tax credits toward your taxes because they want you to be more energy efficient. Why not take advantage of this? Now, if you don't get the highest efficiency one, you'll get a little less than $2,100. But the point is, take advantage of this while you can. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. For details and a free estimate, get a hold of them today at aircomfortservice.com.
This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Stream it on the Odyssey app. The easiest way to listen when you don't have a radio.
Your home for conservative talk.
The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Experience the beauty of custom crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
If he was in the White House press room, he'd never be called on. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Where I am on Amendment 3, well, actually, basically all the amendments except 7, I'm a no on because I've explained myself in my voter guide, and hopefully you'll agree on all of that. But there is no bigger issue on this ballot after electing Donald Trump president of the United States than a no vote on Amendment 3. You cannot let these crazy leftists who are just absolutely head over heels in love with abortion put this into the Missouri Constitution. We cannot allow that to happen. They are outspending us, though, by tremendous amounts. And there's a convoy coming up that's going to be happening on November 2nd. And we wanted to give you a little more information on that. We've got Steve May on the phone this morning, and he's with the East Central Area Missouri Right to Life. Steve, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. Thank you for giving us a few minutes today. Where do we come up with the idea for this convoy?
Yeah, so it's just an idea that we had. You see a lot of signs out there driving down the interstate, stating to vote no on Amendment 3. But we just thought this would be another good way to get the word out there.
Yeah, I see the Trump convoys every once in a while. People driving around with the flags on their cars and their trucks, and kind of describe where this is going to start down near Eureka on November 2nd, right? About 9:30 in the morning.
Absolutely. So arrival time will be at 8:30, and we'll start off. We'll meet up at the commuter lot in Eureka, Missouri. That address is 201 East 4th Street. So arrival time will be around 8:30, and that'll give us a little bit of time to get the signage on the vehicles and the American flags. So we've got enough signage for up to 100 cars. If we end up with more cars than that, we'll get some additional signage.
Yeah.
But we'll start up there, and from there we're going to go up to 270 and basically just take the interstate loop, or I should say the loop of interstates, going 270 north up to 70. Then we'll take 70 to Wentzville, and then hit 64 and go back down to 270, and then we'll finish in Eureka where we started.
I'm curious what you've been hearing as I'm assuming, talking to people about this issue, because I wonder how many people have actually read the specific wording that would be in our Missouri Constitution, because to me, it's not just what is said in it, but what's not. The fact is it's vague intentionally so that they can kind of find, loopholes and things like that.
Right, exactly. No, that's 100% what we're seeing. I think the whole basis, their whole game plan here is just to deceive in every way possible, because that's the only way this thing would pass. Because if they actually spelt out what they're trying to do here on the ballot, on this amendment, there's no way that it would pass on November 5th. So we're really just trying to get as much awareness out there so people can delve in a little deeper on the on this amendment and just learn what it's really all about.
Yeah, I know obviously this isn't being done as a fundraiser, but you are asking people to make donations just to offset the cost of the signs, right?
Right, yeah, just a small donation we ask. And if it's, if there's people out there that, are, a little tighter on money, we'll definitely, work with them on that. But yes, the whole, our whole intent on this event is just to, get as many eyes as we can on the vote no on Amendment 3. Because, I think really,
yeah.
Talking to people here over the last few weeks, there's some people that just don't really know a whole lot about it, and I think we find that with these amendments going into Election Day, that it's kind of, the big focus is on the candidates and a lot of the federal stuff, but sometimes I think these amendments get passed up in the research, and then you've got the confusing language on the ballots.
Could not agree more. Steve May, our guest here. We appreciate your time. Again, November 2nd, it's a Saturday. They're going to start gathering around 8:30 for this convoy down at the Eureka commuter lot, which is right there at 109 and 44, just a little bit to the west on the South Outer Road, sort of near that QT down there. And people can get down there, get a sticker or a flag, and take part in it. Steve, there is a Facebook page called the No on Amendment 3 Convoy Facebook page, right?
That's correct. You can find us on the No on Amendment 3 Convoy Facebook page, or if you want any additional information, you can give me a call at 314-580-9802.
All right. We appreciate it. Steve May, thanks for what you're doing.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, Mark, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yep. Hope people take part in that. It's a Saturday, November 2nd. So, you should all get out there and show your support. Coming up, it's time for Wiggins America. Stay tuned.
The Roots and Boots Tour 90s Electric Throwdown with Sammy Kershaw. That's my story. Colin Ray. Oh, that's my story. And Aaron Tippett. Saturday, November 9th at the Family Arena.
There ain't nothing wrong.
Reserved seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster. Roots and Boots Tour, 90s Electric Throwdown.
Step into a world of enchantment this holiday season with Cirque Musica Holiday Wonderland. From awe-inspiring acrobatics to gravity-defying aerial feats, it's the perfect fusion of circus artistry and beloved holiday songs in a celebration guaranteed to create memories for the entire family. December 5th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. On sale at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Inspire your holiday spirit with Cirque Musica Holiday Wonderland.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Any scattered showers, rumbles of thunder will get out of the picture very quickly this morning. Basically, the sun is back for a good portion of the day. Northwest winds slowly taking over, 75 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. It's chilly, 48 for the low. The weekend looks fantastic. Saturday, sunny. It's cooler. It's nice, 65. 43 Saturday night and Sunday, sunny and 67. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. CNBC reports Spirit Aerosystems is weighing furloughs or layoffs of hundreds more employees if the Boeing machinist strike stretches beyond November 25th. Spirit, which makes it fuselages for Boeing's best-selling 737 MAX, had already been preparing for temporarily furloughs in Kansas facilities. The Biden administration has introduced a proposal to deliver student loan forgiveness to millions of people experiencing what the administration called financially devastating hardships. McDonald's said the onions from produce company Taylor Farms is the source linked to the deadly E. coli outbreak. As a result, other chains including Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, and Burger King have pulled onions from some menus. Futures are slightly higher just before the bell. Thursday, the Dow Industrials lost 140, the Nasdaq gained 138, and the S&P 500 up 12. That's Your Money Now.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, we've got an accident now on northbound 170, just a little north of 6440. They've got the left lanes blocked, a fire truck on the scene. We've got only the right lane getting by, and traffic is jammed back onto 64 in both directions. Westbound is a little bit slow from Big Bend through 170, and eastbound 64 is back a little bit past McKnight. Now, that's the worst of it at this hour. Eastbound 70 now looks good out west into downtown. 44 does as well. No problems on 64 until you get to 170. And northbound 55 looks good as do the bridges downtown if you're headed in from Illinois. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 833 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Sponsored by Ulta Beauty.
We've brought the Emerald City to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from REM Beauty by Ariana Grande, It Brushes for Ulta, and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Well, of course, lots of great weather left in this fall for us. Plenty of time for you to get Rhino Shield put on your house. If you've been hesitating, you've been putting it off, whatever, make the call today, 877-25-RHINO. Darren is happy to come over, give you a free evaluation, not some high-pressure sales pitch, but once you see it, you're going to want this on your home. Trust me, it is beautifully durable. You get it put on there. You pick the color scheme, the bright, vivid colors like regular old thin paint, except that it's not regular or old or thin. It is Rhino Shield. It goes on 8 to 10 times thicker. It resists all the sun's rays, so it keeps your house cooler in the summer. It insulates. It's waterproof. That's why they keep showing it on TV shows all the time, like This Old House, because it works so well. Plus, you get a 25-year warranty that's transferable to the person you sell it to. So it's adding value to your home, and you don't have that maintenance issue outside. I loved it. As a client, I loved having Rhino Shield on my home. Call today. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
If your family has been touched by Alzheimer's, join with 97.1 listeners and many others at St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's on Saturday, October 26th at Chesterfield Park. It's a community of support. Register today at 971talk.com/events.
Have you set your appointment up yet to have your furnace checked to make sure you are good and ready to go for this winter? It's really, really a great idea to have it done for your own peace of mind and for your safety also. Definitely check your furnace before you use it. You can go to my website. It's bartinman.com, and we'll have pictures up of what we've seen and what we've seen and found that the homeowners had no clue that this danger existed. Most have no idea what I'm talking about now, but if you went to the website, if you're not going to have me come out or another company come out and check, then you'll know what to look for on your furnace and hot water heater also. So my number, again, it's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest number, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com, Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
Fighting and winning. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just a little help now. You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! I thought Bruce Springsteen had a stroke when I first heard that. It didn't sound like him at all.
Man, that's rough. You know what that sounds like? If you've ever been to a concert and somebody's playing and the monitor's like a second behind what you're hearing, that's what that sounds like. Like somebody didn't do their job right.
I jokingly said I wondered if Mark Reardon, that's why he was off, because he wanted to fly out and see his buddy Springsteen, but I know he would never go to a Kamala
Well,
Harris
maybe he's going to the Beyonce
event.
concert tonight in Houston that Kamala will be making an appearance
You're a
at.
classic rock guy. Do you like, outside of politics, do you like Springsteen?
He had one or two songs that I didn't mind listening to over the years, but I've never been to one of his concerts.
I'm the
just never
same
had any
way.
interest.
I've just never understood. There are people who
They're
love him,
long shows.
but I've never gotten the outside of politics. I just don't really get it.
To me, he's like Huey Lewis of Huey Lewis and the News. I have no idea what Huey Lewis politics are, but after about the third song, they all sound the same to me. So I don't care. I mean, it's the voice or something that.
Not the same generation.
Born
but
in the USA, I didn't mind that song, but beyond that, I've not been a big fan.
I feel the same way about Radiohead. Like that was my generation, and I was like, okay, cool, but I'm not really that into it.
You like Creep, and that's about it.
I mean, a couple, Karma Police.
Yeah, I feel that way about like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys because that was my era.
Not the same.
You just don't like the deep cuts. You just like the radio stuff.
Right. Yeah.
The deep cuts. Do they have deep cuts?
I don't know.
I don't know. No, for sure. So we've been obviously 9 days out now from the election. Kim and I were telling our story about standing in line yesterday to vote out in our neck of the woods in St. Charles County where they don't have it figured out yet, and it took me an hour and 45 minutes in line to vote. And once I was there, I wasn't about to leave because I'm like, well, hell no, I'm here. I've committed the time. I'm going to go ahead and get it done, so I don't have to worry about it next week. And I was there for a long time. Thank goodness the weather was good.
No
right?
kidding.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great weather. It's a little rainy this morning, but it's been a nice week.
Yeah.
But once you get halfway through a line, regardless of how long it is, you go, well, now I can't waste the time I've just done waiting. So even if it's a 3-hour line, you're like, I'll stick out the extra hour and a half now.
Yeah. So you love looking at the polls like I do and trying to figure things out. Demographically, like I'm listening to these sound bites from Scott Jennings and some of the analysts on here talking about which groups she's clearly now only focusing on a couple of groups that she thinks she might be able to still convince them to vote for her. But I don't know who they are. I'm like Mel Gibson, who said she's got the IQ of a fence post. How can you vote for her?
I saw that yesterday, too. It's interesting because the headlines, everybody's seen that Hispanic vote is moving toward Trump. He may not win the Hispanic vote, but, just the fact that 10 points, 20 points is moving. I mean, it's massive.
Yeah.
And then the same with the black vote, specifically black men are moving toward Trump at a record pace. I mean, almost that I've never seen in our lifetime. And then, you have Kamala Harris at the beginning of this week, and she's doing so much damage control. It's crazy to watch in the last couple weeks of a campaign because they're so on message all the time. It's all they do is just the same 30 minutes of speech, over and over and over.
Donald Trump bad.
Yeah.
Bad. Donald Trump. Donald
Hitler.
Trump bad.
To
Hitler.
see them shift a little bit
Fascist.
this week, what happened on, I think it was Sunday, was at a rally, somebody yelled out, "Jesus is King, Jesus is Lord," at her rally. And she says, "I think you're at the wrong rally."
I heard that.
And then all of a sudden her campaign goes, "Oh, no." So every interview she's been doing this week, she's been talking about, well, I talked to my pastor this week.
Oh,
and
my faith
is
really
important.
encouraged me. Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard of the Book of Esther, but for such a time as this, like that was the whole
She
quote.
seriously tried to quote Esther?
That was it. And
Oh,
so,
my gosh.
It's been interesting. And so who knows how that's going to affect. It's too quick to see it show up in polling. But, they break these polls down by demographic groups. Christians, they break into even further. They break them into Catholic. They break them into evangelical. They break them into regular church attending evangelical. And if you hear the word evangelical, that means you're talking about politics. I don't know any Christian that calls themselves an evangelical.
I always refer to myself as that way.
Outside
always.
of politics. But here's one that they haven't been reporting much. This is from CNN. Last time around, Joe Biden won independent voters by 11 points. I don't even know if I remember that. In September of this year, though, a month ago, Kamala Harris was up just 5 points among independents. Now, as in a month later, She's only up by 1 or 2 points, which means it's basically statistically even. So that 11-point lead that Joe Biden had among independent voters has been completely erased, essentially, at this point.
I wonder, and I've wondered this many times on my show, who are these independent voters? Who are they?
It's a great question. I think these have to be people who just wake up and stick their finger in the air and go, what's happening today? You know, I can't imagine having, even if you're just a one-issue voter, which most of us are not, but even if you just have that one issue that's what takes you to the polls, you pretty much know how you're voting.
I would think. It's never been more clear-cut. I had a conversation with somebody on Facebook the other day, and I usually try to keep my show views on my show page and not so much on my private page, not private, but my personal page on Facebook. And I finally can't stand it. I've got all these crazed friends who are on the left, and I've just had to go on and comment. And I don't want to hear, let's just all get along, like the whole kumbaya thing. Why can't we just all get along? I'm like, listen, you can choose to ignore politics. Politics is not going to ignore you. Your life is going to be impacted by these decisions. Get out of the middle of the road, because the only thing you normally see there are dead critters right in the middle of the road. Don't be in the middle of the road. Pick a side.
I don't even know if it's as much that they're not sure who they want to vote for. I'm convinced a lot of these independents, because I used to try to call myself an independent in between, when I was definitely Democrat and now obviously conservative. And I feel like it was almost a pride thing of like, no, I don't associate with one political.
Politics.
Yeah, like I'm above that. I'm going to make sure I'm voting for the person with the right policies. I'm not just going to automatically give my vote to the Republican candidate. So I don't know, again, if it's as much that they're undecided. I think a lot of these quote unquote independents, if you look at their track record, probably are pretty consistent. It's almost like I'm above that. And I'm sorry if that's you who's an independent voter, but that's kind of my analysis of some of those people.
Even independent voters, if you look at their track record of voting, those who vote regularly, some of them don't. But those who do, they tend to break for one party or the other. They just like calling themselves independent.
That's what I mean. It's almost like a pride thing. Like I'm above that.
Exactly. And so
you have to win my vote over. I'm not just going to automatically give it to you.
Yeah. To see a 10-point swing from 2020 to now to Trump among independent voters, that's actually pretty significant. And you're seeing that. That's what's amazing. That's what I wanted to bring in here today, is that you're seeing this. I can't think of a demographic group right now that's moving toward Harris.
No, furries.
See, I haven't polled furries.
You should.
It's really hard because you
it's
see
a
them
growing population.
in the wild. They're not always wearing the suit.
Well,
you don't know who to poll.
That's true.
And I tried talking to regular animals, and they don't even vote.
They don't? Well, shoot. Let me know when you get those results.
Progressives for furries. Yeah. It's
Murderers for illegals for Harris.
You said illegals for Harris is probably one group that's moving toward it.
I should put a sign like that in my yard.
Ryan, remind people when they can listen to Wiggins America.
Yeah, Saturday morning 7 to 8 and Sunday night 7 to 8.
And you podcast those too, because you had Dennis Prager on recently, right?
Yeah, I had Dennis Prager last week if you want to listen.
Outstanding. Ryan Wiggins, thank you.
No problem.
All right, back here in just a minute.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
We are looking better on the roads this morning, but there is an accident, and it's northbound 170, just a little bit north of 6440, and they had it blocking the left lane. Well, it looks to me like this has been cleared, and if that is the case, things should start thinning out quickly behind it. But there was some slow-moving traffic eastbound and westbound 64 trying to ramp onto the inner belt. Right now, things look really good. Eastbound 70, there was some moderate volume near Zumbel this morning. 64 was slowing at 170. But other than that, we're fine. Even 55 looks good through the construction zone this morning. And no delays on the bridges downtown. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 847 at 97.1. St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
What do you think that Donald Trump is a fascist who is a threat to democracy?
We just had Kamala Harris admit that she's going to violate federal immigration laws.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Republican Adam Schnelting is a husband, father, and a soldier. As an Army combat engineer, Schnelting is trained to fight for us. He's trained to solve problems. As state representative, Adam fought to keep men out of our daughters' bathrooms and sports. He voted to cut our taxes and fully fund our schools. He led the charge in Missouri to secure our border and address the fentanyl crisis. He even earned the endorsement of of the Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Adam Schnelting for State Senate.
I'm Adam Schnelting, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Schnelting for Missouri, Mike Summer, Treasurer.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of our Missouri or Illinois attorneys. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Town & Country, Missouri, 63017. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. This brand new facility offers state-of-the-art independent or assisted living and memory care. New Perspective Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. Our attorneys will hold truck drivers and owners accountable. We stand up to big trucking companies to get you the compensation you deserve. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law today for a free review. 314 or 618-9-million. That's 314 or 618-9 all zeros.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. We are thrilled to announce that the Mid-America Carpenters Union is offering up to $10,000 cash to close to all McKelvey home buyers. Use these dollars for closing costs, upgrades, or buy down your interest rate. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to own a beautifully crafted home with McKelvey legendary quality. Act fast. This offer is first come, first serve. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
A morning cup of adrenaline. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
I got sick of my job, sick of my wife, sick of my future.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
That's right. Remember that, because if you don't vote, you could be last. Go get in line and vote somewhere. My buddy Joe this morning just sent me a picture from the Cliff Cave voting location down in South St. Louis County. He estimates there's probably 200 people in line down there.
Wow, already?
Right yeah.
That's great. I love to see this turnout.
They're showing up. I'm assuming the polls opened at, I don't know what time they're opening.
8:30 maybe?
8 or 8:30?
I don't know.
I guess. Anyway, get out, vote. Download the voter guide if you need to. Make sure that you get your vote counted. We're told things are going to be better in St. Charles County next week. Right, Kim?
I'm not going to hold my breath.
But anyway, Kim and I have voted now. Carl, have you voted yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I
All right.
drove by Booter Library yesterday, and their parking lot was packed.
Was
Yes.
full. Yeah. Sue Thomas, how are you?
I am fine, thank you.
What is going on History of the Lou with Sue this weekend?
I want to thank you for asking that, Mark.
Sure, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for you.
We are talking about the history of the St. Louis Browns. And we had, this of course is the anniversary of the 1944 World Series, where it was all St. Louis.
Yeah.
The only time in history. And it was the St. Louis Browns versus the St. Louis Cardinals, and they both played in the same stadium. So can you imagine you would just go there for either all games in St. Louis in the same stadium? And I've got Ed Wheatley in, and we all know Ed, who's just a well-known sports historian, especially about St. Louis. And he talks about it, and I brought him in. I was like, okay, Ed, let's talk about the St. Louis Browns. But I thought, okay, we can do one piece on that. No, it goes back so far, and there were so many iterations. I think I caught it, but the one set of the Browns that came to St. Louis was actually from Milwaukee, and when they left here, they went to Baltimore. I mean, it's incredible. At one point in Major League Baseball, all shortstops, all second basemen were wearing the same color hats. Like each player had a different color hat on a team. But that was throughout the entire league. You could tell who was playing what base by what color hat they were wearing.
I never knew
It's
that.
all really interesting stuff. So that's going to be on this weekend.
So when can people listen?
Let's see. On KMOX, 1 p.m. on Sunday, and on 97.1, 6 a.m. on Sunday. And I don't think we're back yet at 6 p.m. yet, but that will start next week. But this week is still 6 a.m.
Is it available for podcast?
Yep, Odyssey.com. Just look in the podcast because it's just really fascinating. And it's all pro St. Louis, and it's just wow. Plus, Branch Rickey and the farm system started here.
Yep, that's true.
So we covered that as well. And what really happened, because he really was going to do it with the Browns, and the Browns were too cheap. So he went to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals said, yeah, you know what, that's a good idea. And then suddenly it took off nationwide.
Yeah, paid off, yeah. History of the Louis Sioux. You can always look it up on the Odyssey app if you want to. Sue, thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you guys too.
Absolutely.
Bye, Sue.
Yeah, bye, Sue. Hey, listen, I got a treat coming up for you on Monday. In fact, Kim and I are getting ready to talk to this young lady here in just a few minutes after the top of the show. We've talked a lot about immigration. It is the number one issue for a lot of people next to it's neck and neck with the economy, right? Biden inflation wearing you down at the grocery store, gas prices, just the cost of living having gone up 25% in the past 4 years because of inflation. That's big for a lot of people. Immigration is the other one. People see drugs coming in, their job is being taken, American taxpayer dollars being handed out like candy to people being put up in hotels while homeless veterans are still on the street. It's offensive to American citizens when they see that. It should be. I happened to share an Uber ride one day with this lady you're going to meet, Evelyn, and we struck up a conversation. And she's an immigrant, and she had very strong views on all of this. She's been here for 16 years, and it's amazing. You can be born in this country and not appreciate the gift that you were given with your place of birth. Like, just being born an American is a gift that 99% of the world, 95% of the world will never know. That freedom, that opportunity, and all we do is complain. I just about said the B word. All we do is complain that we don't have enough, or we don't have opportunity, or we're oppressed, or whatever. You have no idea. And when you hear her story, it's going to drive that home for you, I hope. And maybe you play it back for some of your friends who complain and moan all the time about how the system works against them. She is the American success story. Everybody's success story, everybody's American dream is going to be different. I'm going to introduce you to her on Monday, so be sure and tune into the show then. And I can't wait for you to hear her story. It's impressive. In the meantime, download the voter guide, 971talk.com. Get out there and vote. Find your local polling place. You can absentee vote with no excuse right now. Let's book as many of these votes as we can. Here, Missouri, Southern Illinois, get out there and get it done. There's no excuse. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, beautiful weather expected parts of next week as well. There's just no reason to wait. Brian Kilmeade coming up next. Then, of course, Annie Fry will be in here a little later. The Reardon Show. I think Ryan Recker's in today from 3 until 6. Have a great weekend. Kim, Carl, Sue, and I'll see you back here Monday.
St. Louis City 2 is in the MLS Next Pro postseason.